because YouTube can get sometimes way more views. People like to watch stuff. You know that.
Right, yeah. Now my question for you is that seeing from your previous podcasts, you only use one camera. Have you ever thought about using like multiple camera angles?
I have. It's not even a financial thing, it's a production issue. So there's two ways to do that. You have a switchboard that you can go between the 3 different cameras. Say you did like a lot of popular podcasts, we'll have the center one to the side getting me, one over here getting you, and then you can go between them. There's 2 ways to do it. One is efficient, but you need another person here. I need a producer, an engineer with me, so they can, in real time, manually go between the shots. Like right now, he or she would cut to
whoever's
me,
talking.
and then right now they would cut to you.
Yes.
And then right now, since we're both nodding and smiling, they'd cut to the center, and they would use their intuition to time that, and then that could print out that video when you're done, already cut and edited. So it's fast. The long way would be I do all 3. I put all 3 in front and I manually cut through, which means I have to go read through a 3-hour podcast, 4-hour podcast. That's too much.
No,
huge.
And you learn something new every day because I always had an idea that, somebody would be behind the scenes kind of, intuitively going back and forth between the cameras. But, if I were doing a podcast, because I'm a very DIY type of dude where I'm just like, I'm just going to do it and I'm just going to learn by doing, So like if I was doing a first episode, I probably would just go, oh no, I'm gonna have 3 separate cameras, one right here, and then I'm just gonna edit it myself. But
I've thought
it's
about
probably a better idea.
It's time consuming.
No,
especially if you're
you.
not making money on it. This is just a hobby. This has stemmed from because I've been doing podcasts for 10 years, and this is my third one. My first one was Friends with Music. I started that in 2012 with my cousin Matt at the old studio. Before I started DZ Fest, and DZ Records was 2 years old. And it was his idea, actually, but he knew I knew about recording. And it was audio only, so he was like, what do you think about a podcast? I was like, I kind of have heard of them. They were not nearly as popular as they are now. But I don't know. I don't listen to them. I don't know anything about them. I kept seeing that on my iPod Classic podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck's a podcast? iPod Classic. 160 gigs. And I was like, well, I can do the audio, but I can't do the video. I don't have that type of tech yet. So digital cameras were much more expensive back then. So we started doing them then, and the idea of Friends with Music was to talk to different people we knew about music and how it inspired them when they first started getting into it, their earliest memories. They weren't that long, maybe 30 minutes to an hour max. He would host, and I would do the production, and I would edit. Eventually, they got really long, so I taught him how to edit. He also wanted to get into it. So I would just set up everything, provide the space, the location, and the gear, and then he would do the talking and then the editing. So we kind of split it. And then he had a kid and a wife and a house. So eventually, I took over, and he kind of did it less, and then he stopped doing it altogether. And then it kind of just faded, and I started another podcast called Mandate Movies because I really love film. So a buddy of mine and I would just talk about movies. That's it. We'd go watch movies and critique them and talk. It was just fun. And then after that, I started Bending Brains 2 years ago in December. And
oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's been 2 years
of
this. So I think this is like the 57th or 58th episode. I was doing about one a week, and then life got really busy because everything came back, and I just wasn't able to do it once a week. But it started this concept because after years of working with artists and bands, as you experienced 2 days ago, your band, just came in, and you talk to people, especially because this is kind of like a one-man show. I do everything alone. I talk to people, and you start to hear stories, very, very interesting stories. Sometimes they're crazy, sometimes they're inspiring, sometimes they're overwhelming, and I'm like, man, these are people who aren't famous or rich. They're just everyday people, but they have amazing stories, and I feel like the world should hear them,
Absolutely.
And everyone actually does. It turns out most people do, but there's some more than others that like have something about them, this extra sauce, the spice that you're like, I really want to talk to this person. And in doing so, it's given me a whole new education, almost like I feel after every 2-3 hour conversation, like I took a course, like a college course. It's so intense, like the information you learn when you sit and talk to someone, when you look them in the eyes and talk to them, which we don't do a lot anymore. We're either on our phones or you talk briefly at a party, 5-10 minutes, family party, but you're never alone, just talking with no interruptions. So, and I've heard that through listening to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I enjoy a lot of them. But really, it's just between the fest, recording bands, albums, shows, sessions, putting on events, I've met so many different kinds of people. And I wanted to kind of hear their stories and like kind of show the world their stories. So it's like my own way of documenting life. Like this is like a very fun hobby to document like life and people I meet.
That's great. I'm on the same boat as you. I love talking to people, man. I think it's like it is such a I don't want to say it's an underrated form of learning, but just I agree with you. Just the fact that these are just everyday people and they're just so unique, and just hearing different people. I sometimes I'll be in the city by myself, and I'll be on on the train or whatever, and I will just rant just for fun. I don't know, maybe it's just letting my intrusive thoughts win, but just I'll just see someone who's like listening to music, and I'll just go, hey, what are you listening to? And then we'll go into a huge thing, and it turns out I'm like, oh, this person's actually really cool, or sometimes it's awkward, but
That works for you though because you're young, right?
Right. Yeah.
You're young. You look decently approachable. Like
yeah,
you don't
I would like to think so. Yeah.
You don't look too extreme one way or the other.
Yeah.
And you always seem to have like a smile. I think that's your natural state.
Yeah.
Is like a kind of happier smile. Some people have that. I've met them. They're always smiling. And like, do you get? They get sad. But like, do you ever get sad? Because you always seem happy.
I like to be a happy guy, man. I like spreading positivity. I think it's so important, and I love inspiring people, and I like making people who may have like going through a rough time. I read I think it's a Marcus Aurelius quote. I don't know if you're into Marcus Aurelius.
I know who that is, but
yeah. I read a lot of his stuff, but he said something like, and it is such like a normal quote, and like I'm not saying anything like groundbreaking here, but it said something like, be kind for who everybody you meet is going through a battle you know nothing about. And I really took, I don't know, ever since I read that I was like, whoa, that's a bar,
Yeah.
I think that's just so important. So just talking to people and just being kind and like really listening to them and really understanding what they're saying and sharing, the energy of exchanging ideas is just so underrated. I think a lot of people don't really realize the power of that,
and just communication.
And you documenting that and sharing it with the world. I just think that's so cool. That's the coolest thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's definitely been a very unique learning experience. I have learned so much through just talking to people. It's especially I've done 1 to 4 hours is like the length this tends to go. It really depends on so many factors, but that like hour 2 or 3 stuff starts to go, like you really start to hear people have come out with like their sexuality, have come out of the closet just talking to me, which is mind blowing and beautiful because it's like, it's nice knowing someone feels so comfortable they could just do that.
Of course.
They talked about like their family members being shot and killed and people dying and sexual assaults, like the most intense stuff. And it just blows my mind. And the biggest thing that I've learned has been talking to people who aren't me, people of other backgrounds, other financial backgrounds, other ethnicities, a lot more women, because they, in the podcast world, the only ones I've seen, because I try to listen to some female-based or women-based podcasts just to learn more about them. I think it does us a disservice as boys and men to just like kind of stay in our bubbles. Like, I don't understand women. It's like, well, you don't understand them because you're not trying. Like, you could at least try. I don't think we're ever going to understand each other, but you can get closer to it. You can definitely have a better understanding.
Yes.
And you start to realize, like, oh, people are just people who want to be respected, appreciated, loved. They want to do what they want to do. And in the music industry, that can get a little sticky with women because they're not as prominent. So men tend to take advantage of them, prey on them, not take them seriously, not appreciate their ideas. So things that I've become aware of and am trying to learn and be better at and become better at that. So I really appreciate listening to other types of people that aren't me, that aren't my age. You're 20, right?
Yeah, I'm 20.
So you're 12 years younger than me. I mean, I remember much of life before you existed,
Yeah.
And I enjoyed colleagues and friends and acquaintances across the age spectrum. I have friends that are 60, I have friends that are 20. It's like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, are you a nice person? I don't think I'll ever have friends under 18 though. That's when you can't.
That's a little red flaggy.
You're
good
okay
call,
at your
good
age.
call.
You're in a place where you could do that if they're platonic,
Of course, yeah.
But at my age, it's like now you're just like, I'm like your like a camp leader or like a I don't know. Once you're my age and someone's that age, you're kind of they're either like a teacher or like a leader, or they better be like your niece or a nephew or something.
Yeah. Not like a random type of
He's really cool. He's 14. He's great.
Yeah, I had him on the
We hang out.
podcast. Yeah, had him on the podcast.
No, thank
Love
you.
hearing his stories of middle school.
Yeah, you play music. What instruments do you play exactly?
Well, I'm primarily a drummer. I would say above anything else, I am a drummer. I started on the drums. Eventually, I goofed around on guitar, and it really wasn't until I started really taking off with the content and stuff where I was like, oh, I should probably. I don't want to say it like it was a chore, but I was definitely like, wow, like I really want to get better at guitar. So guitar right now, I'm still like in the process of like learning. I would love to eventually to be to have drums and guitar where I can do a gig with guitar. Like I've never played a real like gig on guitar. You know what I mean? Like I would love to do that, but for right now I'm learning guitar. I play a little bit of bass. I know like keyboards. But like nothing. Like I said, nothing on. I'm primarily a drummer above anything else. Like I am. That's the instrument I have intensely studied.
And when did you start studying that or playing that, practicing?
I started when I was 7. Yeah, I started when I was 7, but I didn't take it. I was like self-taught for like the first. It was like one of those things where like, I was like just kind of messing around on the. I was at my. I used to at a family member's house. They'd have a drum set in the basement, and I would just mess around on it. And I'm a huge fan of just like. Movies and music are actually my two like biggest things right now. So like, and it's always been like that. So for me, I've always felt connected in a weird way to like just music in general. I mean, I've been surrounded by music my whole life, but starting on drums when I was 7, and then it wasn't until I got into middle school with my middle school jazz band wher I really started just I was like, I should take this a little more seriously. And from then on out, I went all in. I completely dedicated everything to it.
To drums,
to music in general. Yeah, yes, drums. I wanted to get better at it. I really wanted to. I was so inspired listening to all types of drummers and listening to all different types of music and but yes,
I'm listening. I'm texting my roommate to turn off the furnace. I don't know why it's back on.
Yeah, no worries. But just. Drum, yeah, I'm a huge fan of music in general, but I started on drums, yeah.
So you started on drums at 7. What sparked to the drums? First of all, what sparked interest in music, and then what sparked drums in particular?
So I did not grow up in a family with musicians, but I would say I grew up with music lovers, if that makes sense. Like both of my parents were huge fans of all different types of music, so we always had different types of music playing in the house. My mom is like a big metalhead. She loves like classic rock and like old school like 90s, early 2000s types of metal. And like my dad was like more like bluesy, like Stevie Ray Vaughan type of stuff. And then they were both into like the funk and the pop and all different types of genres. And so I was always growing up just like being fascinated by just musicians in general. I always loved going to concerts and everything. I was a huge Wiggles fan when I was younger. My first concert ever was the Wiggles, and
really?
I still remember it. I was like 4, and I still remember it. And I remember just being like astounded. I don't know what it was. I don't know.
The Wiggles.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Were they like a Disney band?
No, I don't. I don't know what program they were on. I don't think it was Disney. They were like a you've heard of the Wiggles,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
I just don't remember. I was a little older, so like
right, yeah,
it didn't appeal to me. But I remember them.
Oh, they were my world when I was younger.
Were they associated with the Teletubbies?
I don't think so. Maybe they are. I don't know. I haven't watched the Wiggles in forever. I know they have a new lineup. They have all these new people in there, and I'm not here for it. I like I was there with the OG
I'm an
lineup.
Wiggle fan.
I am an OG Wiggle fan. Absolutely, just 100%. But what sparked, I guess, I don't know. I started playing, and I just remember like I would have these big headphones, and I would play along to like my favorite songs when I was like younger. I was just the curiosity, I guess. I don't know. It's just when you're a little kid and you're just like, how does this work? Like, how do you're so fascinated by all these sounds, and I just eventually just started messing around, and it was kind of like that for the longest time until I got to middle school, where I saw my middle school jazz band play, and I was like, wow, I play drums. I wanna try playing that, and I got in contact with the band director, and I couldn't read music. I could not read. I didn't read music until I got to high school, but unfortunately, my band director, Mr. Frank, was incredibly. He just saw. I think he saw the potential in me, and he really saw that I my passion for it and how much I really wanted to. I really wanted to play, and I was a big listener, So, I told him that I couldn't read music. He gave me the entire summer to learn to read music, and I said, sure, I'll learn, and I didn't. So, but I knew the song. But I knew the song. It was "Flight of the Foo Birds" by Count Basie, and he said learn it over the summer, and I just, instead of like learning how to read it, I just listened to the track, and then I just played along during my audition, and I got in the band. He thought for the longest time I could maybe read music, and then like as rehearsals came in, he was like, oh, okay, so I don't think but yeah. So from then on, I think just because I got the chance to play in that environment, and then I was just hooked. I was hooked as soon as I got in.
So you're in high school when you would start really playing like in jazz band?
Yeah, because I wasn't in like normal band. Like I wasn't in the concert band.
Yeah,
I wasn't in percussion. Like I was just like a drum set player.
Right.
And that was already I was always like in a weird situation in middle school, because I was like I am a band kid, but not really. Like I'm not in the I'm not. It'd be weird because I'd be at like the band concerts, and then I'd only come out when the jazz band was playing. Like I'd have to like sit like for like 2 hours only just to come on for like 30 minutes or whatever. But yeah, then I got to high school, and then that's when I joined percussion. I joined drumline. I joined everything. Did not know how to read music at all. I ended up playing. I was on the cymbal line my freshman year, and it was, it was such a great. It was awesome. It was such an awesome experience. Of course, just. Being in that world and just being so curious. I just remember being so curious on how to read music, and just, like I said, meeting a bunch of other kids who knew how to read music, and they would show me, what is an eighth note? How does this, how to read this, how to read that, And yeah, I was made fun of for not knowing how to read music, but it's just like,
that's so funny.
Yeah,
that's some nerdy band stuff.
It is so. I know I'm going into like such a nerdy band kid thing. I swear I wasn't like a geeky band.
Did you
go
to band camp?
I had to, yeah.
So you are a geeky band.
I am, but I'm like, I guess I'm closeted. I'm a closeted geeky band kid.
I went to camp, but it certainly wasn't band camp. That's funny.
Yeah.
So you were playing music all the time, drums, and a big music listener, listening to a bunch of different stuff. Did you like comedy growing up?
Yeah. So another big, I always, when I look back, I kind of realized that like my two like things that I had going for myself was that I was really into music, and then I also loved making people laugh. Like I was a kid who, I don't know, like if we had like a presentation, I always was the kid who tried to make the presentation like super funny, and like I don't know, I loved making people laugh. Like it was I don't know, maybe it's because maybe it's because I liked being center of attention. Maybe it's a weird kid thing. I don't know, but I loved the feeling of just seeing people's faces light up when I told a joke, or said something stupid in class, or got in trouble with the teacher for saying something dumb. But yeah, that was always the biggest thing. Like I loved music, and I loved making people laugh. That was my biggest thing.
Do you ever watch or get into any comedians or any different?
Yeah, I mean, so I went through a weird puppet phase when I was like in elementary school. I was a big fan of Jeff Dunham.
I was gonna say Jeff Dunham, the only puppet person I could think of.
Yes, yeah, Jeff Dunham, and so I was into him for a little bit. That was like kind of my first like, I don't know, taste of into like
comedy.
Like comedy, I guess, and. But then, yeah, like I was a big fan of like the Eric Andre show.
Yeah.
And like just like I was into like, I'm still into it, but just like the shock value humor. It's like, something about it.
Nathan For You.
Man, everyone tells me I gotta watch him.
I feel like you would if you like Shock Factor. Yeah,
and I've seen a few episodes. Like I can't tell you, I can't describe the episode, but I have seen like one or two episodes, and I did think it was hysterical.
Or like Tim and Eric.
Same thing. I know people have told me I need to watch Tim and Eric. I watched Eric Andre. I watched Workaholics.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have been watching Workaholics.
Not at your age.
At my age, I shouldn't.
What about Awkward Kyle?
I don't know what Awkward Kyle. I don't know.
So he's now a cast member of SNL.
Okay.
But before that, I used to watch him and he was just a YouTube guy. And he would just he would interview people with like a shotgun mic and just ask the weirdest, most awkward questions that sometimes didn't make any sense at all. He'd just be like, should have flipped a hint of COVID head. And the person's just like, but he like dead face. And the person thinks it's serious, just like, what? And he's just like, did you ever flubber the hubber dubber? And just like
that's my bread and butter. I love
it's
that.
Really check out old awkward. I used to watch, and when I found out he was on SNL, I was like, that guy got to SNL, which makes me think that you can go to SNL.
I appreciate that, and I
feel like you could. Wait, we haven't said it. For those listening that don't know, that you make a lot of videos that are all music based, but also very funny. Like I remember when you first messaged me, it was at night, I think. Or maybe I saw it at night. I was laying in bed. And I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like, because you reached up a band thing, normal stuff, especially through Instagram. So I was like, "Yeah," and I responded. But then, like, I always check out the profiles. So I checked and I was like, "The heck? who is this?" And I clicked on it. I started watching your videos, and I was laughing hysterically at like 11 o'clock in my bed. Normally, when I don't look at stuff, but I don't know why I caught it that night, and I was cracking up at stuff, and. Yeah, it's really funny, but clever. And also, I like that it's music-based. It's like a little bit of everything. I really like comedy a lot. Hence, I'm naming all these comedian shows, and I know a lot of comics. I've been to a lot of shows, but I also love music a lot.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a really funny meeting of two worlds, but I had no idea about your TikTok or YouTube channel, because I don't really use TikTok a lot. I have one, and I post on it, but I'm terrible at it, and I don't understand anything about it at all. I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know if it's like
it's a wild platform.
It is, right? It's I'm a little older for that generation of TikTok, but not just older, but also like it's not where like I put my thoughts. Like I do a lot of things, but it's not where I put that. And I realize the importance of it because you can do so much with it, But so for those who are listening, you do a lot of content creation of music, drums, now adding guitar and keyboards and bass and other stuff. But also it's like almost always funny of some kind. There's always some type of humor in it.
Yeah, it's even from the beginning there was always like a hint of humor. I started out as just doing covers as a one-man band. So
okay. When was this? Like when did you first start making videos? It
was during COVID, actually. Well, when I really started doing it was during COVID.
That fast?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, because I was always like doing stupid stuff. Like even when I was like younger, like I would just go like, and I'm not the first person to have that type of setup. Like having the drums at the feet and just playing guitar.
I have a bunch of friends I work with that do stuff like that.
Exactly. Like
I just don't do it the way you do it.
Right. Yeah. I have my own twist on it, of course, like everyone else. But like, yeah, I'm definitely not the first guy to be like a one-man band, right? But like, I was always kind of just like I said, I saw somebody doing that, and I was like, that's cool. Like I want to do it myself, and then I would just mess around on it. But I started doing just requests, like because on TikTok you can like highlight the comment, and then you can like reply to it with a video. So I would start. Well, like for example, I think like my first viral video. What
did it start with? Which platform did you start doing?
The platform that I like really started blowing up on first was TikTok.
Right, and that was in March of 2020.
Yeah, it was like summer of 2020. Yeah,
okay,
it was around that
just
time.
over 2 years ago.
Yeah,
so you're just out of high school at this point.
Yeah, because I didn't. Yeah,
You just graduated.
Yeah, I was class of 2020. I had to remember that because I didn't walk the stage.
Senior. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, I don't like like being that kid where like, oh man, I miss high school, you know. But like I had a good time in high school, but like it was high school. It's happened. Like I'm here
Smart.
now. You know, like I don't.
You're already wise.
You know, I don't
beyond your years. Some people never realize that.
Well, I don't want to be that kid that's on the football field. You know, you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Uncle Rico when he's talking about
I could throw all this football over that mountain over there.
Yeah, but he talks about how things could have worked out differently for him
Yeah.
if I forget the exact quote, but like, oh man, if coach let me play that one night, you know, we would have made,
Yeah.
you know, state, you know, and like, I don't want to be that guy. I've never, even when I was in high school, when I was enjoying myself, like even when I was in high school, I was like, I know I'm never going to get this time back. But like, once it was over, I was like, okay, it's time to move on. Like
Next thing in life.
Yeah, it's done.
That's smart. Everyone should do that. It's not good to dwell, especially in high school.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're only 2 years from it. I'm 14 years from it. It only gets, as long as you don't dwell on it, it only seems more and more futile and adolescent and absolutely pointless the further you get away from it. And then, you know, depending on where you go in your life, you get jobs, you get degrees, you just get so far from it. It's like, it just doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't want to, I think, and because of me not wanting to dwell on it, I think being at home, of course, and, you know, I couldn't go anywhere, you know, we were told to stay home, so I was just like I got to do something to like, I don't know, I was bored.
Productive,
literally, I was just bored. I had nothing to do.
What were your plans? So you're 18 years old, it's June 2020. What are your plans for the future? Like, what were you planning on doing?
Well, I was going to go to school. When I was applying to school, I was going to be music education. And eventually over that summer, I was just like, I don't think I want to do that. I wanted to do something with music. I wanted to do like something awesome. Like, I don't know. I wanted to do like, I never wanted a normal job, you know what I mean?
I do know.
So like, yeah, like, you know, I just don't, you know, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be a teacher. Like I like teaching, you know, but like, I don't know if that's like, I don't want that to just be the end goal, right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm still not even against being a teacher at some point, right? But I'm like, I don't know. I wanted to do something more than that. So I decided to switch it to music business. And real quick, I think it's so funny that if I went to ISU, you would have been my teacher. And it's just funny how life works now that we're, you know, I think it's awesome.
Earlier or 2 days ago, Aaron brought up that he wanted to study music business. And it was possibly going to be at Illinois State University, where I teach. And I actually teach the music business class there in the School of Music. So you would have been my student, and you are like you would have been in there like right now in this semester, like
I know.
as my student.
I think that's crazy.
What's funny is I'm going to use this podcast for like an assignment for them.
Really?
About like social media and how you can utilize it to like in a music industry.
That's awesome.
So isn't that funny how because you didn't go, you ended up being a subject matter.
Yeah. So that's amazing. That is so cool. I think I was giggling about that because when you were like, oh, you would have been my student. And I was like, that's just amazing how life works,
Isn't
man.
it?
It's crazy. And now I'm on a podcast with my could have been teacher. Like, you know, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted. Where were we? What were we saying? We were talking about.
2018. It's June. It's 2020.
Oh, 2020.
You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
You're deciding about what to do with school.
Oh yeah, music. Yeah, in the music business. Yeah, I don't know. It was summer, you know, and like you couldn't do anything, so I was just home, and then I don't know. I was just like, and like TikTok was always around. Like it was around. Like it started off as Musical.ly. I don't know if you know that. It started off as an app called Musical.ly. And I did not have it when it was Musical.ly. And then I honestly didn't really care for TikTok until like I got out of high school. I was just like, I'm messing around on it. And then
when you had it at that time, just a normal amount of followers?
Yeah, I don't know. Like my friends followed me, you know, and I followed my friends.
Or something more?
I can't even remember.
But nothing crazy, just a normal.
Yeah, no, it was like call it 100 people. Yeah, sure.
And same with Instagram.
Yeah, and then in high school on Instagram, I had like, and it's still Aaron Paulsen drums, but it just started off as a drum account. Like my first video on there is when I was a sophomore in high school.
And that was just a normal account where
it was just it's just me like, here's me working on my paradiddles.
And
here's
still
me.
only had a couple hundred followers and stuff.
Yeah, I think by the time I got out of high school, I think I was like almost to 1,000.
Okay.
I can't.
All very like normal stuff for your age and
yeah.
life. And then what about YouTube? Did you have a YouTube channel?
I did, but like kind of the same thing. Like
couple
15
hundred
subscribers.
15,
probably around 15 subscribers. I don't know.
Are those the three that you use? Do you use Twitter or anything?
No, I'm not on Twitter, but yeah, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok are currently kind of the trifecta I'm on right
Facebook?
now. I'm on Facebook a little bit because like Instagram and Facebook are connected. So when I
Yeah.
post on Instagram, it does go on Facebook.
Does that do well too, Facebook, or is it just
It brings in numbers from Facebook. It can.
Right, it's
I'm actually trying to get a little better on Facebook because I want to post. I've sometimes posted just like individually to Facebook.
Yeah.
But I have a thing where when you do post to Instagram, it will just also link because I have a Facebook page, but it's just linked to the Instagram. So
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I'm sure anybody who's listening right now is probably like, "What are they getting at? Like, what are they like?" Because we're like talking.
Yeah.
We're clearly talking about like getting to somewhere.
Of course.
But like, I almost want to say it and then reverse engineer back to like
Okay.
how you got to that.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So I was bored, and then
What do you do full time right now?
I am a content creator. I
At
make
20 years old.
I'm 20 years old. Yes, I make music, comedy content, and that is my full time thing.
And you live off of it.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, and it's I've been like fully pursuing it since I haven't even been at it for a year. Because I decided to leave school
Right.
December of last year.
Wow,
So
about
we're
a
closing
year.
in on a year. So like technically 2 years, right, doing it. But I would say like really, really like going all in, fully, giving it everything.
Yeah.
Giving it everything I can.
Yeah.
Like barely a year,
That's
closing in on
crazy.
a year. Yeah, yeah.
Do you realize how crazy that is? Or are you too young to understand how insane that is?
I think it's the latter. I've been told I've told people that, and people were like, "Why are you talking?" Like someone said, I remember I was telling two adults about it, and then one of the adults said to the other, do you realize like the way he's talking about this right now? And they were like, yeah, like, do you see how he's talking about this? And I was just like, I don't know. I think it's what you just said. Like, I don't know. I mean, of course, I do reflect on it and like, oh wow, like I've done a lot in 2 years, but I don't know. At the same time, just like I'm always focused on just like
Doing the work.
growing and doing the work.
Do you see it as work? But like not working a bit, because I don't see what I do as work,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
But it is, but I've done real, like air quotes, what anybody would ever consider real work. I've swung the hammers, I've cut the wood, I've moved the boxes, I've done Subway, Blockbuster, UPS, I've done every job, pipe fitting, construction, roofing, concrete, mowed grass for money, shovel driveways for money, like everything. So now when I work with bands and make albums and go to New York to record bands and put on festivals, I'm like, this isn't work. I mean, it takes time and effort and thinking, but I enjoy and have fun, and I love the puzzle of planning it and figuring it out when it's on me. Like, this is all on me. Like, I have to figure it out, and it's so much fun. So it doesn't feel like work. And because of that, it can get a little dangerous because I never know when to stop.
Yep.
Because I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like sitting in my basement in front of cool speakers, like editing songs from awesome bands that I get to hang out with and like talk to.
Right.
And go like get on the guest list at their shows. Like, this doesn't feel like
I hear you.
work.
I think
So I don't know when to stop.
Yeah, it's like I think it's people like us who like it's almost like we need another word for it. Like, because I can't, because like, yeah, I'll tell people like, oh, I'm working. Oh, I've just been working on this all day, and they're like, but like even when I say that, I go, gosh, like, but I don't know. I feel like
It doesn't feel like
it doesn't feel like work.
It's the same thing as going to ISU. I'm just nerding out and talking about what I do here.
Right.
Like, what I love to do, I just talk about there. Like, they're just paying me to sit there and rant and like talk to people about audio and music and sound and business and music and industries and festivals and theory and production and recording and stereo recordings or mono ones and acoustic. I'm like, I would do this anyway.
No,
so it's just fun for me.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, exactly. It's just we need it. We need like another word. I don't know. I wish we could find it. We should talk to Webster, man.
But it doesn't come easy because there's a lot of pressure.
Of course.
You want to sustain what you have.
Of course.
Now that you have it, you're like, I don't want to lose it. So now there's this type of pressure that people don't talk about when you do get to do something you love, even if it's not for a lot of money, but just to enjoy what you do. Mm-hmm. Now you have the fear of losing it. You don't want to lose that, which it's a good fuel to keep going, but it's definitely hard. It's hard to balance it. It's hard to keep it going. It's hard to see the future, especially how young you are. I mean, the 20s are the most important decade of someone's life to establish their career. So my advice is just keep doing what you're doing and do it more. Like, whatever you think you're doing 20% harder. Like, because it could set up the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it really is the goal. I mean, mean, I definitely want to branch out, of course. Like I eventually, that's why, I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a little bit more effort into Interstella, the band stuff. That's why I did reach out to you just by doing the live sessions and stuff like that. And but like
you guys are awesome, by the way.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was
voice, dude.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah. Jeffrey is a gem. He's amazing.
He's pounding it, just screaming.
Yeah, he's crazy, but I love him. He's amazing. They're all Jeff, Ben, and Andy. They're amazing.
All four of you guys couldn't be more different from each other. Like you guys had very stark differences in your personality.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I think we blend together so well.
You guys very talented.
They're my homies, and I love all three of them to death, and they're just I'm lucky to be making music with them.
Is it a play on the movie Interstellar?
Well, like I don't know,
or just the word Interstellar.
Yeah, just the word Interstellar.
I
Yeah, like
because
we're all like. I would say like definitely Jeff and I are like huge movie nerds. Like we're huge into that. And Andy's girlfriend is a film major at DePaul.
Oh, nice.
Andy goes to DePaul. So
I wonder if they know. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, but all of us are. We were just, and we're also like really like into space and stuff. Like I think we actually got that name from like the James Webb Telescope picture or something.
Oh, okay.
I kind of forget the whole thing, but we were trying to find a name, and one of us was like, what about like a wordplay on like a concept connected to space. So I think one of us just went Interstella. We were like
Interstella.
Yeah, and I remember when I heard that. I didn't come up with that name. And whoever did say, I was like, I vote that one. Like we got to do that one. And
it's good.
Yeah, but like branching off into music, and I want to do a bunch of other things. I would love to. I'm like I said, I'm huge into like movies too. So like I even when I was younger, I liked making short films too. Like when I get an assignment for school, like if there was an option, like it was like a choose your own like presentation type of thing. If there was like a make your own like video assignment, like I would choose that one. And like I said, it did not feel like I would get it done in a night because I would just.
It's fun.
It's so fun for me. I don't know what it is. I love filmmaking. I'm so fascinated. And
you kind of make you're making like short films.
I make little movies. Yeah, I think that's what I.
Do you just make it with your phone?
For like the short form content, like TikTok and Instagram, I'll use my phone. But like for YouTube, I've been I upgraded a little bit. I use like a more.
So you don't put the same videos on YouTube that you do on Instagram?
Well, so on YouTube, we just started like doing, I guess, more long form content. So like I have my first, I guess, like episode on there is just like 10 minutes. But I do upload because I have YouTube Shorts now. So I do upload my short form content on there. But I do, like I said, I'm trying to branch out a little bit more. I want to go harder with YouTube. We're closing in on 100K, so I really just want to like, hone in on that and
100,000 subscribers.
100,000 subscribers,
nice.
yeah. And so my first I uploaded like just like a week ago. But yeah, it's just like it's like 10 minutes and it's just like vlogs, skits, and just like I went to PASIC. I don't know if you know what PASIC is. It stands for the Percussive Arts Society International Convention. So it's for a bunch of it's a super nerdy drum convention for nerds like me who go there and we nerd out. So I vlogged my time there and I interviewed random people, and it's kind of the same thing where I'm just kind of asking them like out of pocket questions and stuff like I asked, this is my friend, so like I swear I'm not an asshole. I'm not an asshole, I swear. But like, I had a friend who, he's a big percussionist, so I was like, how many mallet pieces have you played like in your entire percussion career? And he was like, oh my gosh, like I got to be over like 200 or something. And I was like, all right, follow-up question: how many bitches do you pull? Like just asking like stupid, just dumb questions like that. So. Yeah, it's just like out of pocket stuff like that. It's still my style of content.
You mean it's like a vlog, kind of?
It's like I would say like the main narrative is like the vlog, and then I will say something like I'll mention something, and then when I watch it back, I'll go, oh, that's a funny skit idea. I'm gonna do that. So I'll film it, and it's like a cutaway where I'll do that. I'm trying to make it my own style,
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a first video. It's not. I don't think anything is perfect really, but like. Especially just for a first video, I'm still like experimenting with different styles, right? So
that YouTube has 100,000.
Yeah, we're closing in on
And then
100,000. Yep.
Instagram's like
It's like 182K
okay
right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in 2 years, all that grew.
Yes.
And TikTok is
1.2 million.
whoa.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's so
Holy
fun.
cow.
Yeah. I
So they all grew so fast.
yeah.
Like you could literally see the numbers just going up like every day. In 2 years, I mean.
Yeah, I try not to like be that guy who's constantly on my phone, like, oh my god. Like,
try not to,
I try not to, of course, but yeah, I do. I mean, I think it's part of the work with it, where I have to kind of go, okay, like how's engagement doing? You know?
Yeah, it is. It's
Right.
Analytics is part of it.
Right. So
It's- you have to.
I have to look at it, but I try not to look at it for like for funsies. You know, like oh, good morning. Let's see how many followers I'm at today.
Or
Yeah, like,
boast
I try
about
not-
it, you know.
Yeah, like look at me. Yeah, I try not to do that.
Good.
but-
That's smart. Yeah, I wouldn't, because it's not. It is as real as it is. It's not. It's like it's just the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's real is you and I in this very space. That's
Of course.
But it is real because it affects our reality. You know, it does affect your reality clearly, but it's not the best representation of the physical world you live in. You know, so it is cool that I'm happy for it. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's crazy. At 20.
Yeah,
At 20 years old, I was like, I'm gonna start a recording studio called DZ Records, and everyone's like, and they all laughed at me. And I put a piece of cardboard in my bass. I built a door in my bass and put a piece of cardboard on it. It said DZ Records. And
Hey, man, but I mean, look where
Yeah,
it is now,
I mean, I
though.
know.
You know, you
It's
got
crazy.
you look, man. I think people, unfortunately, and I still get clowned on sometimes for doing this
Really?
content thing. Hell yeah.
by who?
I won't. Of course, I won't name names, but
You
like,
should. No, don't.
oh yeah, no, I wish, but no.
say
I
who?
won't.
Say how you might know them. You don't have to say names.
Yeah, I just I've been told.
Family. I'm gonna go out there and say it.
Well, actually, no. Yes,
Some
but
people in
my
your
immediate.
family.
Look, I am very great because my mom and I live with my mom and my sister. So they're my biggest fans. They
Right.
From day one they have been on my side. You know, and I'm very grateful to have like incredibly supportive mom and incredibly supportive sister, and my friend circle is incredibly supportive. But like, yeah, I've had like even when I was, because I was still doing content when I was in school, and I would have professors like tell me like I need to get a real job, or like what are my plans when I'm 40, and like
How
all this
old
stuff.
were they on average? Would you say some of these?
Oh, they were like, yeah, they don't understand. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
They're like 45, and
I'm in this right place where I'm detached, but I understand. And that's
Yeah.
why it's like, it's important. Like in my music business class, we don't really talk about social media, not in any meaningful way. And it's like, I'm going to redesign the course to where we focus on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, streaming services, like all of it, because that is the world we live in now. That is how
Absolutely.
you get your stuff out there. I'm in a strange position where more people know about DZ Fest, DZ Records, the podcast, anything like that in real life, in interactions. More people know me or have met me than anything representing on the internet. I don't have that many subscribers on anything I do. Nothing compared to you, but not even compared to where it probably should be, which is where I'm always dumbfounded. I'm like, I don't understand that. 1,500 videos on YouTube. How is there only 3,100 subscribers on 1,500 videos? It's like 2 subscribers per video. That doesn't make any sense. After doing it for 10 years, you know? But I don't know. I don't know how. I think it's because it's the content itself isn't the kind that generates a lot of subscribers. I don't really know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and I,
You know?
yeah, and I don't, I couldn't tell you like exactly like,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna sit here and like tell you like, oh, it's this, it's that, because like
Yeah.
I don't think I just know enough to like
Right.
really understand. I mean, I think you make very high. I mean, look, man, I would say, like, I'm a like screw the numbers type of guy. Like, just do what you love
Well,
to do.
yeah. I mean,
right?
because of that, I've always had to say screw the numbers.
Of course,
I don't- it's
you
like,
know, and
I know what they are. I
I've-
don't care anymore.
Right, of course, and you know, and I've kind of had that attitude. I've tried to always maintain that attitude, even when I was starting. Like, I try not to compare myself to anyone. Like, I think that there's no, obviously comparison is the thief of joy, but like, I don't know. To me, like, comparison is like a marathon. You know, if you're running and if you're focusing on one thing and then you start looking at the other guy, or the other, what
how you
are
start
they doing? What are they
losing,
doing?
yeah.
Yeah, you start slowing down. It's like, what are you gaining from that? You can be inspired, but like to go, oh, I have this amount of followers and this person has this amount of followers.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like you said, it's the internet. Like, it's just like,
it's not real.
like,
I'm glad that I interact with more people than I have on the internet.
Exactly.
It's more fulfilling. I'm glad that more people have been to, the shows I used to put on at my old place or the fest or have done sessions than I have, clicks on a phone. I mostly only ever thought about it because other people have brought it up. They're like, why don't you have more? Like, how do you not have more subscribers? Like, I don't know. I really don't think about it in any way that affects me. I just keep going and booking next bands and moving forward. And,
of course.
But other people have brought it up. Like, they noticed. They're like, many people have brought up that don't even know each other. That's how I know it is kind of confusing. It's like, why would they keep saying that if it's not a thing? But yeah, I mean, no, you have the right mindset. It is remarkable. Like 1.2 million on TikTok. That's so many. Like, and that one, but that one makes the most sense because of the content and how quick and short it is. It makes the most sense.
It's very like TikTok. I would say like it's very easy to go. It's probably the easiest platform. At least I don't know. It's always for me, my personal. I mean, you can talk to another creator and they'll say something completely different. But for me, I feel like the algorithm is always changing. Like I'll have a really good week where I'm doing really, really well. Oh, I'm really glad these videos are doing well. And the next week I'm like, I think the videos are gonna do well. And I'm like, oh, like never mind. Like it's like a splash of cold water. It's like, oh, maybe it's really weird. But like normally I would say for the most part, like, it is very easy to go viral on there if you play. I guess if you play your cards right. I guess I don't know if you just make really. I mean, I think people think about it too much. If you just make good videos and people can relate to it or some way or like be entertained by it some way, I think it's just at least for TikTok, like for their algorithm or whatever, like that's the easiest platform to go viral for sure. Like at least in my experience, like that's what I take from it. So
when did that first happen? Like you started making the videos in the summer of 2020, and when did it go from like just normal views to like strange upticks? Like where you're like, whoa, why did I just get like 10,000 views?
Well, I mean, it was, I don't know. Everyone thinks that it was just like I had one viral video and then like everything ever was like, but it's like, no, I had.
Yeah.
So that, like I said, the day I was bored, I literally I set it up and I played, and I think the caption was because like obviously no one gave me a request yet, right? So I started off just doing the one man band request covers, right? That's all I did. It was just me just goofing off, and I think it was like when your band members can't come to rehearsal, like it was just like a random like when this happens, right? So I play like a little song on there, right? So then people were like, oh, do this song. So then I was like, oh, I think so. The first song I did was "Do I Want to Know" by the Arctic Monkeys. I remember that because it's just like a simple drum beat with, like at the time I was like, I didn't know like I didn't want to go so hard because like at the time I was just like, I'm just messing around, like and like it's such an easy guitar part, at least like for me it was like I still think I'm a beginner guitar player, honestly. Like I don't know. But like especially at that time I was like, oh, like I can play this and I can realize I could do it with the drums. So I started there and then someone said, hey, do the Home Depot beat. Or the Home Depot, right? That's how you say it? Home Depot?
Home Depot, yeah.
Home Depot, the Home Depot song. I don't know why it sounded so weird to me, but I responded to that and like I dressed up as a dad and stuff like that. And I would just mess around. I started doing that and then, but like, so the Do I Want to Know Arctic Monkeys video, that got like 600K views.
Oh
so
my goodness.
and I remember,
That's a lot.
and I was, absolutely. And I saw that and I was like hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. Like, so of course, when I did the other one, I was like, I want to like try this again, see like how far I can go. I was just messing around, like I was curious, right? So
when was the Arctic Monkey one?
that was the June of 2020. The day where I was bored and I just said, I'm just gonna make a video just for fun.
So the
right?
first one.
The first one man band video I did got 600,000 views. But I mean, people, like I said though, people think that it was just from there. And it was just everything was 600 beyond. No, I think the next video I only got like 15K, like compared to the 600K, that's such a drastic difference.
If the first one was 15K, it's still a lot. Like, my first
and
video got 15K.
Of course, and I was still like, oh wow, like 15,000. But like, of like compared to the 600K, it's like it was like
Yeah.
such a difference, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for like months and months, I started doing requests, and it was just such a slow build. I mean, that entire summer going into the fall, right? I was doing a bunch of different songs and just taking requests. I was just doing it for fun, right? And then
Wait, so real quick, did this 600K video get you more like a lot of followers?
yeah. And you know, and I wish I could remember like the exact number. I think it was maybe I honestly don't know. I think it was probably close to 10K. If it was 10K, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then, it was up and down. Sometimes I'd have a video that would do pretty well, and then another video would, you know, I got nothing on it, whatever. And then the first viral video I remember, like it was 2 back-to-back videos. I did "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana, and then I did Rage Against the Machine's "Killing in the Name of," right? So what I did was, and like I said, I was just goofing. I was just bored. It's just me just messing around. I had a hat, and I duct taped a stick to the brim of the hat. As you've seen, I still use it in these videos to this day.
Where'd you get that idea?
I don't know.
It's so funny.
I just did it. I don't know. Like I said, I just was like, well, because I was like, because I think someone said, you know, or someone commented, "Do Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the Machine. I was like, well, how am I gonna do that? Because like my hands are occupied, so I can't hit the crash, right? Or I can't do that. My feet are doing all the work. Yeah. So I think I just was like, what if I just taped I don't know. I was like, I didn't limit myself. I was just like, I don't know. I'll just duct tape a stick to my house. See what I could do. And then the cowbells. I don't know if you've you've heard the song where before the exactly. Yeah. So so that's what I did. So I did that, and both of those videos got like over 1 million views. And then from there, I was hooked. Charlie Puth commented on one of the videos. Like it went viral.
I don't know who Charlie Puth is.
Charlie Puth is he's like a pop musician. Like he's like a super like mainstream pop guy. Yeah. You've heard his you know, "When I See You Again." It's from that Fast and Furious movie, the "When I See You Again."
Maybe I'm so far removed from pop culture music.
Yeah.
It's like
no, it's okay. And I haven't seen the Fast and Furious movies, but I know that I remember he blew up from making. Maybe I think he blew up. I don't know, but like I don't know. I don't know too much about him honestly, but like. He's a pop singer. He's a celebrity, but he commented on there, and like a bunch of, I know, like it was just cool seeing that, right? So I was just hooked, and I definitely remember after that I reached like 100K on TikTok, and then I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this, and then for the longest time I kept doing one-man band videos and just kept doing it, and the numbers were doing well, but I did that for like from when I got 100K. Was it like the fall of 20? Yeah, when those videos happened, or when they dropped and all that happened, that was like fall of my freshman year of college. Okay. So, yeah, I went through my entire freshman year of college just only doing one-man band covers. Like that's all I did. And then going into the summer, kind of the same thing. I was just only.
How many a week, you think?
I was consistent. I was never like, oh, I'm gonna do twice a week. It was just more like, I want to do this, like.
But at least a couple a week, probably.
Yeah, I would say so. And but eventually I kind of grew bored of doing it constantly. I felt after a while I was like, I did like Crazy Train by like all these classic songs, like boomer rock music, you know, like you know, and I was doing like I did like Green Day songs, like all like a bunch of other Nirvana songs, you know, like all this stuff, and just eventually after a while I was like, I kind of want to do more with this. Like I felt stagnant for a little bit because like I was still growing, but I was like, I want to do something else. Like I kind of, you know, and I felt limited until, I don't know. And like I said, you and I do agree with you, because even from the beginning, I do think there was always like a level of comedy to it, you know, like even just the covers, right?
They're funny. Like the way you do it, like the one where your hat flies off. I forgot which one that. Yeah, how do you keep the hat on?
It's a really solid hat, man.
I was like, he's got to put like tape underneath there or something.
No, I mean, normally when I pull, well, because like I have to like really. This is not the hat I use, obviously, but like I have to like my head is like it's on my head, like
it's tight.
Yeah, it's tight.
Because the one where it flew off, I was cracking up.
Yeah, well, like because like I would start. It would be like a little mini intro in the videos, right? Like, oh, do do Holiday by Green Day, and I'd show like my drum setup, and I'd show me playing the guitar, hitting the cymbal. Like it already starts kind of goofy, and then like the shock value is that I'm playing it as a one man band, right? But yeah, I don't know. I felt stagnant, so then I just started. I just like, what if I just tried like doing like maybe adding like skits to it? I don't know. I was just like, what if I tried like maybe reacting, like stitching a video. I don't know if you know what stitching is, where you just like take a little part of the So like, I don't know. I remember there was another video I did where there was this girl that said, "Men, you need to make more noise in bed." Right. So I put my whole contraption on my bed, and then I played Careless Whisper. I know.
Do you just use the mic from your phone camera?
Yeah, we tried. Like, cause I have Logic too, and like I have all those recording softwares, and I'm still like in the process of like learning it, you know. But like I tried doing like that type of deal, but I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. I think it's I still do. Sometimes I'll still do the when I'm doing like a one man band video, or like when even when I do record myself doing all that, it's just my phone camera, phone camera mic. So
got it.
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to hear how it sound with like mics on everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've used it not as a one man band, but like when I do skits, so I will make like my own, like I make the music for the skits too.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if you ever seen the videos of me. Like it's not. I'm still a one man band, but I'm not playing everything at once. It's just like, oh, like I'm on guitar. There's me on the drum. Like it's just like there's like three me's, right?
Yeah.
So like that is all through. That's all pre-production, like through Logic. Like I do my best to mix it and all that stuff. Like I have used it before. I just haven't used it. I've tried it as a one man. When I do use it as a one, when I try to use it, I have tried to use it when I had the one man band set up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I felt like it just didn't work, or it just didn't sound natural to me, or I don't know. I just didn't like the way it sounded for some reason. Maybe I can try it again, but yeah, I don't know. But I do use like definitely for the skits, and like even for like my YouTube videos, like I will all the music is like I recorded with like DI with my guitar, or like I have a little drum module that I will like I use to record like my entire kit. So like yeah, I do use like recording, but just
I always wonder that with bigger channels that use cell phones, but they don't use like a lot of high-end microphones, yet they do really well. And I wonder, do you think that because it's so fast-paced, people just don't have a high standard for fidelity for audio, given the circumstances?
That's a good question.
I always wonder that because like it's just a cell phone. And most TikTok, most Instagram, like when it's fast-paced stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, you'll see even videos of like just like normal drummers on TikTok, right? Like they'll do a drum cover, and you can definitely hear that it's not. They don't have. You can't see any mics, but it's just their phone mic with the song, and it'll get millions and millions of views and likes and all this stuff. What I think it is, my theory, at least for my situation, I think it's the fact that it's kind of like the relate factor to it almost. I feel, because it's like this is just some kid in his basement just messing around. Like he just turned on the camera and
you
like
can relate to it. Yeah,
yeah. It's just kind of like it because it's not high end. I think that's kind of what makes people drawn
more relatable,
to it.
everyday stuff.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh wow, like he did this so simply. Like he didn't hook a bunch of chords up and got his computer, and like you had to, in post production line up the video. This is why I don't
have a lot of views.
I don't. Yeah. No,
I do the opposite of that.
Yeah, you got to turn down the production value, man. No, I don't think so. I think with your situation, I think it's different. But
it's very different. Yeah,
I think for like people doing, like, even there's this one guy who did like he was doing guitar covers, and he's doing it to like Kendrick Lamar and like Baby Keem songs, and he's like it's rap music, and he's putting like a heavy metal guitar on it, and it's literally just it's his phone, it's him, it's the music playing from a speaker loud as hell, and it's just him like adding his own little licks to it, and every time he does it, he gets so much engagement, like it's crazy. So like I said, I think it's just the fact I don't even think the people who watch it, they know. Like it's a subconscious thing. I feel like they don't know that, but I think it's because like
it's more relatable.
It's just like, oh yeah, like he just.
It's just human. Everyone else could do it. They could take a phone and do the same thing.
Yeah, they brought out their phone and just hit play or hit record, and then
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's my theory. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of what I take from it.
I could definitely see that, because I've always wondered. I'm like, I'm using this nice 4K camera. I got tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. I'm super educated on this. I do this for a living. I know everything about it. And I'm like, the bands that come in are talented. Like everything about it is good. Changing lights,
Of course.
artwork
Yeah.
everywhere. It's so
It's a
custom.
vibe.
It's
Yeah.
a vibe.
Yeah.
And
it
I'm
looks
like,
good on the eyes. It's not just like a random like studio. Like it's like a you have the art. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just said the artwork and everything.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it is a very different type of thing though. And it's funny because people don't have a lot of high quality devices to hear back the true quality of the audio here. Like if you listen back to the recordings here on your phone, you're like, you probably notice you're looking at like it does sound better than normal, but you don't notice it until you listen to it like on the monitors.
Yeah.
And then you feel like the full range sound system of like the bass and the kick and the toms. And when you hit a floor tom, it's like instead of like a thin paper sound like you would on a cell phone. You know?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I even like I said, that's actually because I was like, oh, I should try. Like maybe I should up the production. Like maybe I should.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I like try to record with like a with mics and maybe DI the guitar or like something and just like. I don't know, and like maybe it's because I started just with like super like just my phone. I'm pressing record. That's it, because like I don't know too much about like like I said, I'm kind of in the process of learning like audio production and all that. So I don't know, maybe just listening to it, maybe I did a terrible job at putting it together. But like I would look back and I'm just like I don't know, it's just something about it I just didn't like. And there is a video where it is like that, and then I don't know, it didn't get as much.
It worked. Whatever you're doing, it works. So I guess I wouldn't change it.
Well, yeah, well, I like the idea of always like level upping your production. Like I think that's incredibly important. But yeah, I think maybe like at least in my situation, like it was just kind of like, oh, I think it is like that's when I theorized where I was like, okay, maybe it's because I don't have like a really high production audio sound, like you can't, I mean, you can't play that on the radio, it's like it's just from the phone. I think it's just because it's just so DIY. Anybody could do it, right?
Yeah,
So
it's relatable.
It's like relatability factor. Yep.
What drives me crazy, and I think TikTok did this, is it's turned every video to like the horizontal, from the horizontal view to a vertical view.
It's a big thing.
And I didn't realize how big it was until I was like, that's all I see when I'm filming in a wide aspect ratio, 16:9 4K on this nice camera, which is literally the opposite of that. So when I zoom in and condense it still looks good because it's 4K camera, but it's like you miss
out on all the little stuff.
All the stuff. And it's like it works well for certain things, but then it's like we've gotten used to how low the quality gets when you zoom in like that. It gets so distorted and grainy, and there's a lot of just digital noise in a camera when you do that. And I personally hate that when a video goes from a vertical to zoomed in to horizontal. When you make them vertical, like when you do it, you don't get that effect. But it's made it to where like every awesome, nice, wide shot you do now does that, and it like completely changes the video and almost takes away from all the effort of capturing that nice wide angle.
Yeah. I think. I think that's a big, like, it's like I said, social media is just psychology. It really is. Like, it's just like, will the person, like, you got to think almost in the shoes of whoever's watching it, right? They're watching it from a selfish, like, standpoint. Like you got to kind of figure out, like, what will make them stay, right? And for some reason, I'm bored with you about this because I'm a big horizontal guy too.
You like film?
I love
the opposite
movies.
of film.
Literally, I'm the exact same way. Where I'm like, gosh, I love watching. Like if I watch like a normal YouTube video, I'm just like, this is just so nice. Like I can just see a bunch of stuff. Vertical, you're a little limited, but I think I've noticed this with a lot of YouTubers too, who are kind of promoting their content onto TikTok and Instagram. They will, like, kind of what you were saying with, they will take the horizontal video and then they will like zoom in, like kind of, it doesn't fully fit the entire screen, but there's just something about it that kind of makes it, I guess, a little cleaner in terms of like being on TikTok, instead of just having it like horizontal and then like the top of it's like black. Like it's just like, you know what I mean? Like you can see it, you see the whole video on the vertical, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, it just does, for some reason people just don't like that, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very rare where a video like that will go viral on TikTok or Instagram, at least from my perspective.
It's such a bizarre thing.
I
what's with
couldn't
like
tell
the
you.
word thing?
What word
It's just
thing?
like words underneath the person speaking a language, and there's just text underneath it. I see it all the time on TikTok. Someone will be talking about like, did you know the world was this tall or this big and mountains are this tall? And it's like underneath it's actual subtitles of them saying that. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, like closed captioning.
Yeah, but like why? Like we can just hear what you're saying. Why? That's a really common thing to put actual subtitles underneath what people are saying.
Yeah,
even though it's the same language.
Yeah, and I
it's like a different language.
Yeah, and I used to do that too. Actually,
What's that about? I'm just curious. Like,
and like I said, this is my theory. So this is what I think it is.
You have a lot of theories.
Yeah, these are my theories. Well, like I said, like I'm constantly like yeah, I do this, and this is like my main. Like I do this for a living, of course, but it's like I am still constantly being like next week, what I said today could be like, oh, that was all bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's just I'm constantly evolving, right?
Yeah.
So, what I think it is that I think when people are like in public, this is what I think too. Because like this is from my experience. Because like I will watch a video. Like say if I'm in public, right? Say you're in a waiting room, in the doctor's office, right? You can't blast your phone, right? Or you can't.
Some people do.
Yeah, well, but like if you were considerate with other people, you would ideally have your volume very low or just off, right? And you're scrolling through. I think the captions help, and I think it also helps people who have like hearing problems.
Okay,
too.
so kind of just it hits every bird with one stone. Like you cross off every box with that one.
That's what I think it is.
Okay.
At least that's my motive when I put on. I don't do it as much anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know why. I just kind of
the wait. Oh man,
because
people with their phones in public when they're just blasting it. Yeah, like a waiting room, a restaurant, you're waiting in line.
Don't get me started.
Like,
man. Yep.
why? Why do you realize that other people are around and they have to listen to you at a restaurant? At a restaurant,
Some people are just not self-aware, dude. Like it's just unfortunately, I wish it was like
what is going on there? And you always know who it's gonna be. Like,
yeah, yep. And I try not to judge, but I'm like, yep. And then they'll pull out their phone and then they're blasting. I was in the doctor's office like 2 weeks ago, and I was waiting. A family member of mine was going through a procedure, and I had to drive him home. But yeah, I was sitting there, and I was tired. I was sick myself, just waiting, and I'm so tired. And this dude's just next to me, just blasting like.
it's always a dude that's at least 45 or older.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. Yeah.
It might be because they didn't grow up with it, don't realize like that's not how this works.
I guess, but
I don't
I mean,
know. Or
like-
maybe they think like I'm older, who cares? Like I do whatever I want.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but it's very annoying and
Yeah.
it's very real.
It's a lack of self-awareness. I think it's just kind of like, oh, what's this? And then they're so drawn to it that they forget to turn it down. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
I feel like
don't
that
do
could be its own TikTok channel of people filming people doing that.
Yeah, just it's like a prank channel, and it's messing with people who blast, or like the prank itself is just blast. I mean, people already do that. Have you seen like I don't know if you know who the Nelk Boys are, or like Balin Levine. They're like these.
I don't know anything about anything.
They're like they're like prank vlog channels type.
Okay.
Like the main narrative is the vlog, but they're always like. It's so ridiculous, but it's like they'll bring a big laptop, into or like one. This is really fun. I thought this was hysterical. They brought out like a big flat screen TV into like a library and started playing Call of Duty.
Oh
in
my
there,
God.
and they have the headset on and they're like screaming into the mic as
Yeah.
if like they're at.
And
they're
it's
at
real.
home.
They're really
It's
doing
real.
it.
They're really doing it.
They get in
And
trouble, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, but it's just and like. Yeah, I
But
don't
like
know.
you can't really get in trouble. They just probably get told to leave.
Yeah, no, like they get told
You're
to
not gonna
leave,
get
but like,
arrested.
yeah, no, it's definitely not. Like, I mean, I don't make content like that. Like that's not what I do. But like, I watch that. I'm like, I can't. Like, if I was working at a library, I'd just be like, all right, like it's funny, but like, it's
Yeah.
like obviously you can't do this, and you can't do this. But like, I don't know. That's their world, but like it's like stuff like that where it's like the prank is like they're not supposed to be this loud, or it's like it's
Yeah.
the shock value, you
Yeah.
know, or like they'll one of them like they brought in a laptop and then like their like character they're playing, I guess, in the prank will have like headphones on and they think like no one else can hear them, and then they're blasting like porn, like audio of porn, like blasting it, and everyone's like oh my gosh, like what, and then someone will like tap them like, hey man, that's blasting, and they're like, you could hear that, and like they
Okay.
start
They
they
do
like
it on
make a
purpose.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. I think it's like I said, it's just a shock value. I have done, and actually one of my more recent videos, I did like I yelled. I didn't scream. I just like I was loud in a Menards once,
Yeah.
and I got like a reaction of people just like, what is this guy doing? You know, it was part of like the narrative though. But like
It's dangerous to give people between like 12 and 20 a phone and the ability to put this stuff, because this is stuff my friends and I did without phones.
Yes.
Like like what you were saying reminds me of the stuff we used to do without any technology. And we just did it for fun, obnoxious stuff, you know, like goofy stuff. Like we'd go to Walmart because, you know, who likes Walmart? No one. So we'd go to Walmart and like we would go around. My friend Charlie, he was underage, so he'd be like, I can't get in trouble. I could steal. I'm underage, right? And he would just like, we would just stack a bunch of stuff on him. Just stack stuff. And he would just walk out. Just to be like, it turns out the more you do stuff that looks so obvious, the less people don't think you're actually doing it.
Right.
No one actually thinks you're stealing all that. That would be too much. Like, why would someone do that?
Right.
And he would just walk out. It would be nonsense. Paper towels. Like, nothing worth value. You pay like $15 worth of stuff. You can't even get arrested for it. They'd just tell you, like, you can't come back here. So, but it was stuff like that. You would just watch people do that and, like, this is crazy. Like, but now
It's all documented.
go viral on video. And I don't know if it's a good thing because you don't know the ramifications of documenting, like how it might. Now there's certain jobs and companies that are checking out your social media before they hire you.
Yes.
And they don't want that type of character, like judgment of character.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah, it is definitely tricky, and I tend to stay away. Like I was interviewing random people, and like when I do ask out at pocket, like when I ask my friend, like, you know, how many bitches do you pull, man? Like it was like that's just like because he's my friend, but like everyone else, I was just like, oh, do your best impression of a snare drum. Like it's more because it's like goofy questions, but like I'm kind of the same way. Like there's like a bunch of pranksters who will like, oh, we're in Walmart, and then I'm gonna moan in people's ear. You know, like they will go up to people. Somebody will be like, you know, like going through the aisles or whatever, and they will go up like right behind, like right in their ear and moan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's funny, you know, because I'm watching it and I wasn't there, sure, but I'm like, dude, you're gonna do that to the wrong person.
Yeah.
Like people are nuts.
You're gonna do
like,
the wrong guy who has a concealed carries and a pistol whip you
and
or
like
something.
I don't know. You just never know. I don't know. I don't know. You never know. Like I always think like, what if like you don't know what they're going through?
No,
man.
you don't.
You know, and it's like, what if it's just that's gonna break them? You know, it's just that
these kids these days, and he just punches you, or
yeah, you know, and just they break. You know,
Yeah.
they snap, and it's just
it
like
happens all the time.
That's what I mean, and I don't know. People are crazy. Some people are just nuts, or like, you know, they're going through something, and then just what if it's just this one kid who moans in their ear, and then they turn around, they're trying to get your reaction for views, and then they look at the camera, they realize they're the butt of the joke. I'm more of a fan of the pranks where it's like I just said with like the person who's doing it is the joke.
Yeah.
like it's not like at the expense of other people. Like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's like me who's like, I'm the dumb one. Like, I'm the goofy one, and everyone.
Right.
It's more like your reaction. Like, I guess moaning is the same thing, but it's like I would never personally me. Like, I would not go up to somebody and just like moan in their ear.
You're
like,
trying to keep it more innocuous, just kind of like harmless.
well, yeah, and like, I'm like that's as far as I'll go with like what I just said with my video with where. The part of it's a whole skit, right? But the narrative of the video is that I'm in Menards and like I'm in the Christmas aisle and the tree is talking to me, and I edited it like my eyes and the mouth are on the tree,
Yeah.
and like it's talking to me. So I go like, you can't tell me anything to the tree, and that's all I did, you know. But even after I did that, I was like, oh my god, okay, I got to get out of here. I was like, because I felt like I was like,
people looking at you.
yeah, like people are looking at me, and I'm just like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. I don't want to like I don't know.
Does anybody ever recognize you out there in the world?
I've been recognized a few times. Like I'm trying to. Well, when I was at the drum convention, like yeah, like a lot of people will come up because it's like that's like it's one of my niches. You know, it's like drummers will like,
right.
come up to
If
me like,
I
oh,
go
we love your
to
videos.
a local show, it's
Right.
There'll be like if I go to a show, any show or event that's music related in the city, yeah, people will come to me. I get it. It's like that makes sense. But if I go to a place that's not my niche, probably not.
Yeah.
But if I go to a venue, yeah, I'll probably know somebody, or they'll know me, or I'll know them.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very rare that I like. I don't know. I have been in like grocery stores or something, like somewhere random.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Oh, you're Aaron Paulsen, aren't you?" And I'm like, for me, I'm like, "Whoa, like that's wild." You know,
Yeah.
I kind of expect that when I was at PASIC, you know, but like I don't know. I was like, if no one comes up to
It's
me, that's
certainly
cool,
weird
but
when you don't know, or someone ever shouted out across from a distance.
no
That's a
one's done
weird
that.
one.
No, I
I've
you
gotten
got that?
Oh yeah, I've gotten some funny stuff. It's great. It's I was hiking once and someone just yelled DZ like on a hike. I was like, what's up?
Hey, I mean that
It happens.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely. 'Cause it's also like flattering and humbling. You're
Of
like,
course.
like
Of
wow,
course.
this is
It's great.
It means something to people. This is really great. Yeah, it's definitely not. I can't imagine what it's like to be like a celebrity, like 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 a Tom Cruise, where like everybody knows you,
Right.
or an Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Brad Pitt. Like these people who like one in every other person in this country would recognize you. You know,
Absolutely.
that's gotta be exhausting.
Yeah, and
But see, as though they get that with money, though. And that's the difference. Like, you know, my friends will joke around with me or people in my family, like, oh, you're a celebrity. And it's like, yeah, except I don't have the money that comes along with the notoriety, which is not fair. You know, it's like those people get to use their money with their fame. But to have a known name without the millions is a very strange concept that it's not that common. I think people don't realize, like, to have a really popular name or brand or face or whatever, but not be like a millionaire. It's a very, you know, it's not a very common thing.
I agree. I think it's a very. I don't think a lot like the average person doesn't realize like that. Like that is absolutely a thing. Like there's a bunch of celebrities who are like their net worth is so much, but like they're like currently like they're broke or whatever. You know, like I think that's crazy. Like that used to blow my mind. It's just like I always thought it was like it was always tied. Like the more you were known, the more money you would get. Like it was always connected, but then you start to realize like, oh yeah, that's not how it is.
That's not how it is at all.
Yeah. It's weird. It's kind of a weird situation. I don't think a lot of people really understand. Like the average person like doesn't think that. At least I don't think. Like when I don't know, when I was younger at least, and I was like, I always just thought that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you know,
that's funny. Does it get weird? Like when people talk to you or when you meet people and you don't know them, they know you. Because you're so young. I mean, I didn't experience that at your age, you know.
Yeah. No, I all my interactions have been very lovely. Like I know, because like every person that like comes up to me, at least like at the convention, was like a lot of people would like tell me like, oh, we love your videos, but then they'll tell me a story like, yo, I was going through a rough time and like watching your videos just kind of inspired me, or like you inspire, like I don't know, or even like like I'll get DMs of people like saying like I had a kid who messaged me saying like, and like I said, I don't know, I'm going to assume that it was true, right? But because I don't know who's like messing with you online or whatever, but like I did get this kid on the DM saying that I saved him from suicide. And,
oh wow!
Yeah, and the story was that he's still a college. I follow him back. We're actually mutuals now, but he was he still is a college student, but he was in track and field, like a disc thrower, I think, or it was called. I know he's in track and field, but he was telling me about how he was during one season he had mono, so he was competing like really like terribly, like he wasn't doing well, and like he was going through a really rough time, and he was about to kill himself. Told me he was about to, and he was on TikTok, and he saw my videos, and he said like I said, this is a kid who was just in track and field, you know, like I didn't do sports. I mean, I played like soccer when I was 6, but like I wasn't a sports kid growing up, right? So I didn't think anybody in sports would be
into your stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I just didn't think that, you know?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he said, like, for some reason, just, like, seeing you do all the instruments and, like, just kind of being like that just somehow inspired me to, like, just keep going, just be around.
Goodness.
So, yeah, reading that, I was just kind of like, it was like a wake-up call. I was like, this is more than me. Like, I was kind of like, this is...
But does it give you this overwhelming sense of responsibility, though? It could be a heavy weight to be like, this is more than me.
Yeah, but I don't focus on that. Like I think the stress that comes with it is worth it for me, because it's like if I can make somebody, because it's like if that person messaged me, like God knows, like maybe I helped another kid, or like, you know, like that's my thing. Like I think that's why I like making people laugh, because it's just like laughter is such I'm trying to find the words for it, but like it is such a that type of energy, just being around your friends and just you say something or they say something funny or just a collective laughter, I feel like is just such an underrated experience. You know,
It's healing.
It's healing. Yeah, it's the best medicine, right?
It's why people love comedy.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like,
that's why I love it.
movies, stand-up, music, anything that makes you
course.
laugh. My favorite people are my friends that make me laugh the most.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, yeah, I think regardless, like, whatever challenges that may come or that I have gone through, it's just like at the end of the day, it's like if I'm making like that's worth more to me than the money, than the numbers. If I can make one person just, you know, just to go, you know what, I'm gonna stick around another day. Let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Right? That's like enough for me to go. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely when I read that, I was moved. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, I don't know. You know, you never know who's just kind of goofing with you. But like, assuming he was telling the truth, I think he was. But like, yeah, he was very genuine, and I will still like reach out and just like hey, you know, because he competes all the time. He's an incredible athlete. He's huge. But yeah, he seems like a cool dude from my interaction with him through direct message. But it's just stuff like that. You know,
It's good to focus on the positive messages because you also get negative ones, you know.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, no,
I've seen it all at this point, but most of it's positive, and it's overwhelming when people just say the nicest things to you. They thank you for what you do. It's really great. It's like it's nice to know like, okay, this matters and it's good. It is bigger than me, and then you get some passive aggressive stuff or nasty stuff. I'm sure you get way more.
But unfortunately, you know, and I was like this in the beginning, and I'm sure you can relate, but, you know, and I think this is just like human nature in general, but I think that, you know, we get so many nice compliments, but then we get the one negative and everyone focuses on that, you know? I'm sure you've gotten hate comments before and
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I did, I'm not sure if you've done this with your YouTube channel, but I turned off like any sense of it notifying me that someone left a comment, because if it's positive, then it might get into my ego, and if it's negative, then it might destroy my ego, and I don't want one extreme of either.
Yeah,
I just don't look at them.
Yeah, I have all notifications off on all my
I would say
platforms,
on. I was like, please tell me you have them off. You have to. I have all mine off.
Yeah.
Every single one off. Yeah, it's the only way to get through, because you can get a lot of messages, and not too many negative ones, but more some strange ones. When you work in the arts and you do a lot of community relations and you work with a lot of people, and more or less it was freaky at my old house because everyone knew about it. I mean, tens and tens and tens of thousands of people have been there, which is very rare for someone's home. Like almost unheard of. I'm in like the 0.001% of the world that have this problem. So everyone knows where I live. You type in the DZ on Google and my old house would pop up. So like everyone knew where it was. People went there all the time. So it started to become, I think, normal to people to think they could just like talk to me or go there or like bother me. And I'd definitely have received some strange messages, like weird voice messages, weird this, weird that. My number is also my cell number that's like on Google, and like on Instagram, it's like my cell number because it's my business. So like,
of course.
So like then you get some weird phone calls and weird text messages and weird this, and it's like, luckily I'm like a capable adult man who doesn't look too, like I can be intimidated too easily. So that helps. Like I don't fear for my life, but I'm like, this isn't fair because like a young girl couldn't do this. She'd be terrified all the time.
Right.
It's like, how do young women in our position or even more popular handle it, who don't have enough money to have like security or a manager, but like are in this place where they have notoriety and they're 110 pounds, 5'3"? Like, what do they do? Like, I'd be afraid if I was that person.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean, definitely
Scary.
be careful. Yeah, it's completely scary. Yeah,
And we're guys, like, so it's not nearly as scary. Imagine if guys were reaching out to you and you're just like a young girl. It's like,
of course.
it's brutal.
Oh yeah, and yeah, no, like, yeah, definitely. I mean, thankfully for Instagram, you can choose like if you can accept the message or not. So if you get something stupid or like weird or just kind of like don't know how to respond to that, like you can just you just ignore
that
it.
last
right?
one, the ones where you don't know how to respond, when it's did you ever use punctuation before? Like those?
Or it's that, or it's just like what?
It's ambiguous.
Yeah,
right?
or it's just kind of like, what do you? I don't know what this person wants me. Like, what did you have in mind for me? Like, how did you want me to respond to this?
Do you have in your head the craziest message you've ever received or the weirdest one? Can you think of it? You don't have to say anything about it, but like if you can just recall it.
I've just gotten people who are just like, I don't know. I mean, I've gotten people who are just, I don't know. They think I'm I've gotten a lot of messages like, you know, like they'll say very nice. It's flattering, like, you know, I'm attractive, whatever. But like some of it's like
Aaron,
a little.
you're so attractive.
It's no. I wish that was the worst thing I've gotten. But like, yeah, it's just kind of more like real like sexual weird shit.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You think that's the same person who started your fan page?
Now,
For those just listening and not looking, you should have seen his eyes when I said that. He has a fan page.
I do, and you know,
When I said that, you looked like you saw a ghost. You're just like
Bro,
a
no.
eureka moment. Like, oh my God, I have a stalker.
no, and swear to. Right hand to God, man. I don't know who that is. Like, because here's the thing, right? Because I've had my buddies right at home, you know, and they're my buddies, right? And it's I don't take none of that personal, right? But like, they'll make like they have made like goofy like ironic fan pages of me, right? Because like to them, I'm just their friend. Like they've known me before I've done this, right?
Yeah.
So they're just goofing on me, right? And I don't care about
You
that.
need those guys.
Of course. Oh yeah, no, of course. I'm glad I'm glad I have my friends like that, right? But like, so when I first saw that page, I was like, dude, is this my friend? And I actually thought it was my one of the guys in Interstellar. I asked because like we've made jokes about it before, whatever. And I asked, I was like, because Andy sent it to me, and I was like, look, man, is this you? You can tell me. Like, I'm not gonna get mad. Just is it you? And he goes, no, man, I swear it's not me. So I was like, okay. So then, yeah. So so far as I know, this is someone I have no idea who it is. They're awesome though. If for those who are listening, please check. It's just my Aaron Paulsen fan page, but it's
on Instagram.
on Instagram. Yeah, and it's just. Yeah, but they should be a creator for their own content. Like it's hysterical what they do. I'm like, the amount of effort you're putting in for me, which is very flattering, and I'm very, you know, I thank you so much for that. But it's like, man, you are so creative to begin. You know, it's like, wow, you know, you're. There was one where like, I don't know, they did. They would just do like edits where I don't know, like one of them was like a 60s talk show, and it was like a love talk show. You know, those classic ones. And it was like contestant number 1, contestant number 3, or whatever. And like each one of the contestants were like one of my characters from like a sketch I've done, and it was just like I genuinely laughed out loud. Like I thought it was hysterical, and I'm like, this person needs to like make their own video.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like I'm flattered, of course, but I'm like they would crush it if they were making their own content. Honestly. Yeah, they're awesome. So if it's not a friend that I know or someone I know personally, like they're cool. They're super cool. But yeah,
it's I can't imagine the type of messages like people get that are, you know, like just really famous, like attractive women. Like, oh my goodness.
But what are you if you could share, like what is your like weirdest thing you've got?
Bizarre voice memos, like voice messages, like. Talk to me as if they know me. Like it's like a friend, and I've never met them before in my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, I don't like, that's the one like, how do you respond to this?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like the thing is, I don't want to sound rude. I want to respond to everyone. And then 99.99% of the time I do respond to everything, even if it's a little strange. But then there was like 5 messages ever in my life that I just could not respond to because it was so bizarre. I didn't know. I was like, if I respond, am I feeding into like this person seems like not all like their faculties are in order? But if I don't respond, am I like upsetting them? I don't know. I want to be nice. Like I always respond. It's not like an overwhelming amount of messages where I can't respond. Especially because it's people trying to like book. Like it's usually people trying to get some work done. Like,
of course, yeah.
Be productive, which is great. Or sometimes it's just a nice message, like, "Hey, love what you do," or like, "Thanks for what you do for the music community," which is great.
Yeah.
But then there's like the once in a while weird voice message or a voice text message, or I'm put into like a group text, like someone got my number and they put me in weird group texts, stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't. Unfortunately, I've had to like block a lot of numbers and a lot of numbers.
Sometimes that's like
not cool. I don't want to do that.
It's the only thing you can do too. You know, it's like it sucks, but sometimes it's like, are they when they're just like talking? You know, when they're just like saying like nonsense. Sometimes too, it's just like,
Yeah,
what
I
can you
mean,
do? You know, it
it's
sucks.
put in perspective mental health, that's for sure, because it's very clear. Like that's usually what it is. It's an extreme case of a manic depressive situation. You can just tell. Like this is not at all how people talk to each other.
Of course.
So it just makes me feel so like bad. I'm like, man, okay, this is very real. And then again, in the circle I was in, it was a massive, massive world of bands and artists. And I used to have comedy nights, artists selling artwork, bands performing all the time, all year round, people everywhere, a big friend group, massive shows. Each show to everyone was like a party. To me, it was like a work event. And so everyone knew me, but I didn't know them. And then you start to get people who want to like be a part of it, which is really flattering, but it's like there was this joke and it drives me crazy. And I hate it so much. But it was something that everyone would say, and they'd say just to get on my skin, but they'd always call it a cult, like the DZ cult.
Okay.
And it's a very thing that people would say, and people I didn't even know would say it, and that's how I know it's a thing people would say. And it drives me crazy. Because I'm like, I just work with people, and I want people to be creative and be themselves. Like, I promote being yourself. I believe that the word normal is just people doing everything they can to not be themselves. I don't believe anything is normal. I think it's a hypothetical word.
Yeah, agreed.
There's averages, sure. You can average out a height or a weight. But as far as who a human being is and their personality, there's no such thing as normal. It's just people trying that much harder to resist the force of them being who they are. So that's as deep as my air quotes cult philosophy goes, right? But people get weird because it was just so many people loved hanging out there and helping out, and it was a big community. So you get people who'd want to like be a part of that, but they went around it in the weirdest and most bizarre ways, trying to just bother you all the time and want to do stuff. And like kind of like a lot of my closest friends were my closest friends and kind of like earned this world we were in because they were around for the whole thing. They helped out all 10 years. They were really, really, really a part of my life. The ones that would humble me, like your friends, like keeping you grounded, right?
Right.
But some people would want to just like bypass that whole experience and just be like slide right in there. It's like, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
And it would get weird. And again, luckily I'm me, but yeah, there's some really rough, not so good experiences. A lot of I had to block a lot of accounts and block a lot of numbers, but most of it, I'd say, was just mental health problems. Like there was no one who was just like chilling in a air quotes normal mental health state and like were nice and stuff. It was always something very obvious and suspicious. And also, to their credit, a lot of people have actually reached out and apologized, which has been nice.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but then there's still like a handful of situations where I was like,
it's like, yeah, like I said, what can you do? It's like, other than like, man, I hope you get help.
Yeah.
It's like, I hope, I still wish the best for you, but like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
where yours is a different situation because most of the people never met you. They don't know you at all. It's through the screen. So it's like,
yeah,
it's different. These people who'd reach out, I actually knew them. They met me and they've been to my house. I've shook their hand, like, and I think that's why they got the idea, like, oh, I know Ben, like I could do this and that. It's like, no, it's not how this works. It takes time to really know somebody. You got to like hang out with them and like be friends, and then you can like do these things. And yeah, I don't know. It's bizarre, but it's definitely not the worst thing. There are far worse things to experience in life. And
is the DZ cult still around? That's a genuine question. I don't
know.
Wondering.
It's not a cult.
Maybe you might have like an underground like cult, man. That's crazy. Where
listen,
can I find
only
that?
9 people have tattoos of it. Okay.
That you know of.
Wow, that was a good one.
I
just gotta ask: is the cult? Is the cult? Yeah, it drove me crazy. I hate when people say. I'm like, it doesn't help that people have tattoos of it. That there's a documentary coming out about.
Hey man, the support. It's support.
I have a beard. This isn't going well. No. No. Yeah, it was just I think a tight old friend group. We were just friends for so long. We all grew up together, and it was such a big friend group, a place to hang out. Everyone in high school hung out at my house. Everyone in college hung out there. The cool like creative fort I built, everyone loved to go to because I had like a bonfire, and I kind of like was like, let's just do whatever you want, be creative, be yourself. So it's very attractive to people who feel like outcasts. They feel ostracized from their home. Maybe they don't have a good home. A lot of people from broken homes tend to want to hang out there as kind of like a safe haven,
Mm-hmm.
So from the outside world, if you're not in the know of what's going on, it could seem like, what's this weird thing? Why are you guys being all weird? And then you say the joke, like, oh, it must be a cult, and then it sticks. And people bring it up because like, how do you get everyone to do this? Like, it's not hard to get your friends to help you if you've all been super tight friends and you've all been helping each other forever.
Right.
Like, you're missing the whole optics of it. It's not like I just found Aaron was like, hey, Aaron, do this for me, and you go, yes, sir. Like, that's not
Right. No, exactly.
Like, imagine if we're friends for 10 years and I was there when people in your family died, and I helped you, and I helped you build something at your house, and you help. It's like
Exactly.
trades of goods and services amongst best friends that go under the radar. And just because it wasn't documented on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok doesn't mean these things didn't happen. This is how it's always been going on forever, you know? That's how we've always built communities, by the way.
Right.
It's always been like that.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that I think a lot of people, like I said, people don't know, like of course, I think it's because it wasn't documented. Like, it's like a shield that people just can't get past. Because people will like even say to me, like, they'll go like, do you like? I'll get messages, and then like they're not bad messages, and like normally I don't know how to respond most of the time, and I'm like I said, I've never really accepted these messages. Like, they don't know that I've seen these messages, but like people will say, you know, can we be friends? And sometimes I'm like, okay, are you a child asking me this, or like, you know what I mean? Because it's like,
Can we be friends?
yeah, like you're asking me this through. It's like this is like, do you know this is an unnatural way? Like I don't know. Like, I don't know about you, but like all my friends are just I started hanging out with you. Like I never just went, all right, like, Ben, you and I are friends now. Okay, we're gonna do this. This is how it works. Like, we're gonna. It's like a.
We're gonna go get a
supposition thing.
Yeah, we're gonna get some food, and then afterwards, it's like an itinerary of our existence. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
like,
how
okay,
this works.
yeah, this is our time. This is our time on Wednesday. We're gonna have a podcast, and then we're gonna go to a movie, and then that's it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
You almost sounded a little bit like Obama for a second there.
oh gosh, really? I don't know. I didn't even recognize that. Oh, Ben, we're gonna do a podcast.
See,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like now I'm trying, it's not gonna sound as well. I didn't realize that I
you
was
had
sounding
the
like
cadence. You had like the direct, like, and then we realized it was a wedding and not ISIS.
God damn it.
Dark.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was great.
And I was like, Michelle, let's go back to Hyde Park, Chicago, and have a foundation that we can do something productive with.
Dude, I don't know if you've seen, and this is, I don't know how we, I do know how we got here, but there's, have you seen Michelle Obama's back?
What?
Hear me out, right? Hang on. There's like a picture, when the Obamas
I
were
was
in office.
not expecting that question.
No, hear me out. It's actually trending. I saw this, right? Michelle Obama, right? It's a picture of her. She's walking into a white, or somewhere. I don't know where she's walking into, but she has like a dress where you can like see her, like the top part of her back, and she doesn't skip back day, man. I mean, she's jacked.
Okay,
oh my gosh.
I'm so glad.
No,
that could have went
it's
so many
no,
crazy places.
No, of course not. No, but like, oh my God, like,
She's jacked.
huge.
She's been working out.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I was just like, she looks great. I don't know. I was fascinated.
I
by
have
it.
not seen
And
Michelle Obama's back.
It was like trending. Like, people were like Michelle is telling Barack what to do. Like,
All right, I have old man questions for you. What's
Please.
the difference between viral and trending, and what numbers represent those things?
trending is like trending. I don't know. Viral to me is like, because if you say like this is a trending video versus a viral video, to me is like, trending is where a lot of people are doing this. It's like it's a collective thing, right? Like, anybody can do this, I guess. I don't know, but like,
Okay, I
a
see it.
trending video can be like
Like on
trending
TikTok,
is
there's a lot
already
of
viral.
trending things on TikTok where people will repeat the same stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but like, not everybody who does the trend will have their videos go viral.
Got it.
But like I don't know. Yeah, if you just get like a normal video that gets a bunch of views and it's not really connected to anything, or if it's like it's not part of a trend, it's just a viral video.
But how many views are a viral video? By the way, do you hear that trumpet behind you?
I do. I was going to ask about
That's
that.
my neighbor playing trumpet.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. We have an unwritten rule. Like, he plays trumpet loud and I record bands loud. And
Okay.
That's
I
just-
like that.
That's how we go.
I like that. That's how it should be. Get him in for a DZ
I keep it.
session.
I told his mom, like, if he ever wants to come in,
Do it.
I
Yeah,
know, I
that's
want to.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I feel like viral to me is very subjective. Like, because like a lot of people, like I think a lot of people, like I still think like 100 people is a lot of people. Like if you put 100 people in this room, it's like a lot of people, or like 100 people are surrounding your house. It's a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
So I think people, especially
That's creepy. You'd never want 100 people
of
surrounding
course,
your house.
hypothetical.
There's
of
only
course.
like 2 or 3 cases that happens. Like the FBI is coming in on you.
yeah, or
Like something bad, like some racist clan. Wait, that has a name.
right,
It's like,
yeah. Yep.
or like the military. Like, why else is 100 people surrounding your house?
I guess okay. Let's say in terms of bands, then like if you performed in front of 100 people, I get what you're
It
saying.
was
Yeah,
funny
that
you
was
said,
funny.
or 100 people surrounding your house. Like
That's
the
what
word
I think.
surrounding is like, why are they surrounding my house?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a bad. It was a bad analogy. Oopsie. But like, I don't know. Yeah. Say okay. So say if you performed in front of 100 people,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just think people like don't. I think the human brain, at least mine, like I forget sometimes where I'm like, what? Like even I don't know, like 50 people is like it's just a lot of people. I don't know,
Yeah.
like with you there, and then like I don't know. Of course, 1,000,000 people is 1,000,000 people, but it's like I think even like 1,000 people playing in front of 1,000 people. That's crazy. Like I think that's a underrated, or not. It's not really talked about. I never hear a lot of people going like wow, like 1,000 views. Like oh, that doesn't sound very like 3,000 subscribers, right? Like some people will go, oh, like you know, you were saying like, oh, like I've been doing this for over 10 years, and like you know, I have 3,000 people. I'm like, but 3,000 people is 3,000 people, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of. I don't know. Like when I hear like 1,000, you know, or 100, it's like, I don't know. It's just it's still kind of like mind boggles me a little
Yeah.
bit. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How I got on that.
I always
rant.
think of something around like 1 million. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah,
that
so-
number I always think viral when I hear at least 1 million.
Yeah, for me it's 1 million. I would say
Yeah.
if my video goes over 1 million views, I'll go okay.
But
then-
you have a bunch that are over 1 million, right?
yeah, my videos will range from normally like 100K to like 1 million. If 1 million, I'll be like okay, it's viral, like it's pretty viral. But like even if it's like pushing 1 million, like 800K, 900K,
Yeah.
I'd be like okay, yeah, it's viral.
And you have a couple that are over 1 million.
Yeah, I think my most. Actually, I don't know which one. Yeah, I did. So when I was just doing one man band covers, my highest, I think it is my highest viewed video. It has 20 million, and it's Final Countdown by Europe.
20 million?
Yeah, it's like 19.8 or something million. Yeah,
I know that's not as much as like 100 people around your house.
yeah, and then 20 million people around your house. That's
20
a
million?
little-
How does
yeah.
it feel to know that 20 million times someone watched one video that you made?
Oh, you think it was just one person just
Yeah.
continuously?
Sat there.
Yeah, and just kept
No,
refreshing.
20 million different individuals watched you in one video. That's
it's-
trippy, eh?
Yeah, it's
a little
chill, but like at
trippy.
the same like how we were talking about before, like how fast I've grown. Like I just don't. I'm like that. It's cool, of course. Like it's not like I push it to the side. Like I don't downplay it, but it's at the same time I'm like cool. I want to keep growing.
Yeah,
now. Like
next
that's
thing.
it's always like
Yeah,
I'm always just
I
like
get
cool.
it.
Like cool. That's an awesome thing, but it's like at the same time, and it's also funny because it's always the videos I think are not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
that go crazy. Like I did a video. Do you know the Weezer meme?
I know the band Weezer. I don't know.
Oh, you know,
Weezer
okay,
meme.
so you know the band Weezer. So there's this is like a trend, I guess, but it's like people will, and I think it's so funny, and like, I don't know, I will send it to like my brother is around your age, and like I've shown it to him, and like he won't get it. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
I don't
what
get
it
a
is.
lot of memes.
It's okay, but like this one is like easy to understand because it's just like, for example, like it'll be a guy. It was like a guy will go. It'll be like a filter on TikTok, right? And it'll say 100 greatest albums, right? And you click on it, and then it's like a generator. Like it'll go through a bunch of albums.
I've
and
seen
then
the videos of you in your head, yeah.
Yeah, and until it stops on one, right?
Right.
So there's one video, and this is what inspired my Weezer video. It's this kid who's like, he's like, okay, whatever album it lands on, I'm gonna play a song from this album. So that's how you get hooked in, right? You're like, oh, okay, like this kid's like he knows every single 100 greatest album song, whatever.
Yeah.
So it lands on like, I think it lands on like Fleetwood Mac or something, and he just starts playing Weezer. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just because it's just so goofy. I don't know. For me, I just think because
That one made me laugh a lot when you did that.
Yeah, so I did something. It's called the Get Weezered meme. Like you just got Weezered. It's kind of like you lost the game. or
Oh my
like you
God.
got like it's kind of like aha gotcha, like you got pranked, or it's like Rickroll. It's like a Rickroll.
Yeah.
It's exactly like a Rickroll. So I did the same thing, and it took me most of those videos I do with the one man band. It's not the first take, you know.
No, of course not.
I'm down. I would be working at that for like hours just to get like a piece of content that's under 60 seconds, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that probably in one take. I was just goofing off. It was like I remember for some reason
Was it Marvin Gaye?
Mine was Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. That's who it
I went
was.
Stevie Wonder. All right, and then I did the sweater song.
Yeah.
and it got like 16 million views on TikTok. And I was like, I work so hard on all these other videos, and like sometimes I'm like, this is gonna go crazy, and like yeah, it'll do good, but like maybe it's like not as much as I thought it would. You know, like I've kind of learned to detach myself from that type of stuff. Now I'm just like cool, like what went well with it, what didn't went well, how can we move on, how can I learn from this? But like I don't know, I just find it so funny where it's like it's like a backwards law where it's like the less you try, it's like the more you gain. It's so weird. It's so
bizarre.
weird.
And
Yeah.
the thing is that bothers so many adults who like work really hard at stuff and they don't get much recognition. But then someone, you know, you're maybe 19 years old at the time and you get videos that make millions of views, like millions of views. And it'll bother the heck out of people.
Yeah.
But it's like it's apples and oranges.
Absolutely.
Like that's why like I say it just because I love numbers, but like what I do and we do couldn't be more different. It's not at all the same thing. Like it's apples and oranges. That's why it's like, but I've been doing this for 12 years and full time with no other jobs for 7 years and making my own world out of it. I mean, I teach, but like I consider them both like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
But you know, aside from those 2 days a week, I just do this stuff and I answer to no one about it. And so like the views and all that, it's not always the best representation of someone's value and what they do in life.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
That's why when people do get upset about that, it's like just do your thing. Like that's Aaron's thing. Do yours. Like it's cool to hear this. Like it's inspiring. I don't know anybody who has this type of situation you have, but like it doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me mad. It doesn't make me jealous. It makes me like, oh, that's awesome. Like I now know something I didn't know, and I can now like learn from this because it's very important in the music and art world. Like people don't have to make videos like you, but you can use these places as a tool to get what you do out there.
Absolutely. And I like I said before, like I view the whole content thing as like I think I always want to make content of some sort, but of course I always want to keep evolving. I do want to branch out. I want to do so many things, but yeah, I think I agree. I think unfortunately a lot of people will base their value off views or followers, and it's just like, you know, and I'm if I say this, I'm sure I'll get a few people going, well, easy for you to say, right? But I mean, like, but like, I do remember though, like, I do remember where I mean, of course, like when I was, you know, when I say younger, as in 2 years ago, but like,
It's all
and
relative.
I'm still a baby.
It's 1/10
I know.
of your life.
Right? I know. I know I'm still a baby to a lot of people, but like, even when I was like I said before, when I had the first viral or like the first like you know video that got 600,000 views, and then it was like the next one was 15K, and then maybe the next one was like only 3,000. You know, like it was a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
And it still is, but like even when I was just going at it, it was just like I always tried my best to just be like, look, I am doing this for me. I'm trying, you know, I'm just doing this because I'm having fun. I don't want to base this off of like I think I wanted to do it just for love, you know, just because I love making little movies. I love playing music, and I love being funny. So I'm combining all of those factors together, you know?
Yeah.
So that was always kind of the thing. You know, now it's more like I just want to inspire people to do their own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think
It
like I
sounds like
said-
you're doing all those things. Like that's what I get out of it when I see that.
Yeah, I hope so. I only hope to just inspire more people. I mean, it's kind of always, ever since, you know, when people go like, you know, you inspired me to pick up the drumsticks. You inspired me to start learning guitar. You inspired me to start making my own videos. It's like that's the best thing to hear, because it's just like that is like that's how you become immortal. You know what I mean? In my opinion, like that's how you make people start their own path to greatness. You know, and I think that is so important. You know, and I think we're all inspired by somebody or something like always, and I think people don't really realize that. But like, I don't know, I'm inspired by. I try to get inspired just by everything. You know, I was inspired when I was in here doing the live sessions. I was like, this is a vibe. You know, like I love what you do with how you're working with bands. And when you were telling us about how you're, we were talking about like, Lollapalooza and like how they handle some of the, these really big festivals. They're not really looking out for the local businesses and stuff like that. And you were saying like, you want to change that, and what you want to do with the streaming services. Like that is inspiring. We all four of us left and we were like, that is cool that he's doing that. We had that conversation like on the way home, so like you're inspiring people, and like, I think that's, at least to me, I don't know how, I can ask you like, what is your biggest, I guess takeaway from what you do, but like for me, it's always been inspiring people. It's always been if I can make somebody, live another day or to, try something new or to start another path to greatness, it's just like, that's everything to me. That really is, that's above money. That's above the followers. That's above any, if I can make one person start something new, that's important. That is incredibly important to me, at least. But I'll ask you, what is your biggest thing? What is your takeaway?
I mean,
I know I rambled on. Sorry.
No, you said a lot. Well said and well spoken. It is a lot of things, but it's very similar to what you just mentioned, and it's something that I've always felt. I've always felt this inherent, like need and want to express myself and have others have that feeling of what it feels like to express themselves, regardless of judgment or money or fame or the way you look or how big you are. And also to have fun and be happy, to laugh. I also am that's why I like comedy so much. I try to make people laugh. The whole time when a band comes in, everything up until we're rolling and filming, and then when we're done, I try to always crack jokes and have fun and make laughter, like the whole time. I like having fun. I like meeting people. I like watching people, their eyes light up and enjoy to see something work out with the music and to laugh and have fun with it. But the biggest thing is to meet with someone and have their life now be a different path than where it once was, just based on what they got from performing music, recording it with me, hanging out, a podcast, a session, a show, a festival. I put on a fest at my high school I went to at Argo High School called DZ Winterfest, and a lot of those kids get inspired to do other things. I've had friends say, or acquaintances say, like, I want to start a festival, I want to do this and that. I went to Columbia College a couple of weeks ago to guest speak in their class, and one of the students wants to go back to California and start a music fest there because he was inspired by DZ Fest. So it's like...
That's amazing, though. Yeah, like, right? You know what I mean?
Like, exactly. It's those kind of things that I can't put value on. There's no money associated with it. It's just kind of, even if you can be a vessel, if I can be a vessel to allow people to feel comfortable to just be themselves, because they realize, like, clearly I am, because I am. I don't know any other way to live. I've spoke about it before, but at a young age, I had a very serious problem where I could have died from it, and I needed a serious surgery on my head, on my brain. So from a young age after that, it was at 9 months old, so I don't remember it, but my whole life growing up, it was constantly reiterated and spoken about, like, how I'm this miracle baby and how, like, it made me realize, like, oh, it's all random. I could just die at any moment. You can believe in a God or not, but it doesn't really matter what you believe. Like, it is all, like, it could just end. So you might as well just, like, live, because you never know. So I do that. And ever since I can remember, I've always just, like, lived in the moment, lived every day, planned ahead, but still lived every moment I can and do what I love and really not listen to anybody.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing, but it definitely it hurts sometimes because it's great to be, like, a free-spirited and free thinker, but it can definitely hurt you sometimes because if not enough people are thinking that way, then you can almost feel isolated and alienated often, which I definitely feel that often. Like, I just can't relate to people.
You was just pretty struck a chord in me, man. I cannot relate more to that, man.
That's funny saying that.
Absolutely.
I can't relate to it, but I can't relate more to that.
No, what you just said there.
Isn't that funny to say that?
Yeah, exactly. I felt that in my soul when you said that, dude. Yeah,
it's hard sometimes, and I had a really rough, like, high school and early college. I, like, had this need where I wanted people to have fun, and I saw, if I had one ability or one gift, it's the ability to see through the many different dimensions of the molecules that create up this universe and see like the problems that are happening and try to find a solution to it. Obstacles are opportunities, and every problem has a solution. And if I saw a friend that came from a broken home, I was that much more to want to invite them over and be like, just stay the night, make the bed for them, give them a guitar to play, show them music, share a playlist with them, like anything to bring people together to like lift them up and get them out of a situation. Because I had such a good foundation of family, no money, but great family and a great space, the space that everyone thought was a cult. And with that logic, that's why the family and the friends grew so big, because I was always like having people stay the night and hang out and always provided a place for them to be themselves, because so many people came from bad situations. But the more I did that and the more I'd have people over, the more I like couldn't relate to what everyone was doing. People at those ages, at your age, they wanted to party, they wanted to drink, they wanted to try to get with girls or date. They wanted to spend money on frivolous things. They want to do all these things that I didn't want to do at all. So I would have massive gatherings, massive parties, bonfire, dance party, 100 people at the DZ in the backyard. I had a big platform in a tree that went up 50 feet up that I built. People would be up there.
Wow.
People would be walking to the gas station, get snacks. There's people everywhere. And I had to be in the house by myself playing guitar or making cookies for everyone. like alone, like massive parties, bigger parties than most people would ever throw at that age, consistently. I'd set it all up, invite everybody over, provide the wood, build the bonfire, clean up the place. It would take up the whole yard. It would be an acre of land. The cabin, the DZ itself, has 5 rooms in it, people all over it, people dancing on one room, the music room, a fireplace room I built that had a brick fireplace. We'd have fires in there. And I'd be in like the house, like hiding away, because I was like, I wanted everyone in there. And once they got there, they ended up doing the stuff I didn't want to do. So I'd go hide. And it's like strangely weird. It's like sad, but I was like doing it to myself. And then they'd leave and I'd clean up everything. I was sober, so I wasn't partaking in anything. So I was always clear headed. I'd clean up. The next day, it's like it never happened. And I would just like do that all the time. And then I'd have the fest or a show, and I'd put on, and I almost use those as an excuse to hide. Because while you're putting on a fest, no one can bother you because I'm too busy running around making sure it happens. So everyone gets to have this thing they enjoy, and I get to like hide in plain sight.
Yeah.
And I just was never able to relate. The things I wanted to talk to, I couldn't find the right people with that. The things I wanted to do, they weren't always quite there. And it's weird, that kind of fueled all these things for me to keep doing it, trying to like find a way to connect people. And I realized I could do that through providing all these different outlets and like finding the problems with this world and society and looking for solutions, bringing people together, not overcharging people for work, not taking advantage of people who don't know the pricing of recording, finding crafty ways to layer the work to where it's I can get a bunch of stuff done and it's not overworking me. I don't know. I can't explain it because when you don't know what work is and then it meets your personal life, it's where I lived. It's also where my friends hung out. It's where I lived. It all just blurred into one big thing, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing how you handled like bringing people together like that. Like I think that's really interesting. You did it in person, you know, having, you know, throwing your own little, I mean, obviously look what's become today.
And that's why it was easy to put the fest on at first, because those were before the fest, these massive parties and gatherings.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to 2012, my neighbors knew me really well. That's the first one.
Yeah.
My neighbors knew me really well. The city knew me. My grandpa built the house. We're there forever. I was very privy to having a lot of people at my house. I knew how to handle that trust. That freaks people out. Makes me laugh now. It's like when you have 5,000 people over.
Yeah,
you
man.
can kind of handle anything. So when people are like, I'm having a get together, like 12 people are coming over for dinner. I'm like,
right? You're like, let me do it.
It's the age old saying, the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. So like, if 12 people is the most that's ever been to your house, you're probably freaking out about it. But it's me. I was like, dude, I could do that in my sleep.
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, by the time I got to 2012, in trying to have 7 bands play and build a stage and have a couple hundred people over, was like, yeah, this is just like a big party. I've done big parties. And it became very easy for me to learn how to handle it, clean up the streets, the neighborhood, like make it to where I wasn't upsetting anyone. So that foundation of always having people over and building a community of friends and people I can trust led to where this could happen. Like this couldn't have happened anywhere else because it took what lasted for 10 years from 2012 to 2022, took about 10 years before that to get to the first year alone of building trust, of knowing I can handle this or do that.
Okay, so do you remember your very first like gathering then? Like, could you remember the year? Because you said 10 years before 2012. So it's 2002.
Right. So my family always had people over. My parents, we used to have a lot of missionaries stay at my house from around the world. So I would always meet missionaries from like Africa and Australia and South America.
Wow, okay.
And my family's very big, so cousins were always over. If someone needed a place to stay, my parents let them in. My parents had this very open door policy. It was a place we always hung out. We had the biggest yard. We played football in the winter, basketball in the summer, golf, baseball. Like we just did stuff all the time. I built tree houses left and right. I probably built 15 tree houses throughout my life. I was always building stuff. I wanted to be a carpenter when I was a kid. And that's how I was able to build the stages and tents and everything.
That's awesome.
So I was used to having people over all the time. So it was very normal. So it was a very slow progression of having people over, want to get bigger and bigger. My parents would trust me because they knew like I can handle it. And I was always like guided into learning how to be able to handle people over. We had the family reunions at my house every year, which is like 100 people. Christmas Eve parties, birthday parties, Christmas party. My family's massive. So people around and learning how to deal with people around was very normal to me and entertaining them. Like when I was a kid, when we'd have big Christmas parties or family parties, I would put on a comedy sketch show in my basement. When I would always to get all my cousins together,
Nice.
I'd try to make them laugh and perform and do goofy stuff like a slapstick stuff, like a Chevy Chase, Jim Carrey type of thing. And then when I was really little, we did this thing called Dance Shack Music Club, and I would be like the DJ at like 6 years old. And I would record music on cassettes and play them. The two different cassette players had a microphone and a karaoke thing with disco lights, and we'd have like our cousins over, and we'd have like a dance club. And I was like a little kid doing that in the 90s. And so having people around and figuring out how to like entertain is like just a part of me. It's like in my DNA to like handle that and to like see everything you need to do. From when I would have intimate evenings, which were the shows we'd have every month, roughly between 40 to like 150 people. It would vary, but about that. So 4 bands would play. We'd set up the whole studio with the actual PA system from the fest, the actual monitor. So it was a real venue where my live sound engineer, who is my roommate now, we had the X32 mixer, and we would have individual mixed monitors for each musician. The mains for the crowd. It sounded amazing. It was like a real venue in my basement. It was awesome. And we filmed the whole thing. We have audio I have everything captured from all that. And I would I would run the numbers of where I saw all the drinks getting spilled over the years. So I would hide towels in places around because I knew drinks were going to get spilled.
Wow, that's another level of
and I would
planning.
hide, and I would find plastic. I had plastic crates. And I'd get wet towels. You don't want to put a wet towel on wood or carpet. It'll seep into the fabric. But on plastic, it won't. It's not porous. So you want a wet towel because beer, you want to soak up. You also want to get it a little wet to get some of that beer out of the carpet.
Yeah.
So I'd have wet towels, dry towels, hidden garbage cans, stuff everywhere, extra batteries hidden. Like the whole thing was mapped out, all hidden. So someone would spill, and all of a sudden I'd pull a towel like out of nowhere. Wipe it up and be like, where'd that come from? Like, dude. You don't want to have to try to get through a crowd when beer's being stomped on into. These are the same rugs, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you did a great job at. Yeah, I was gonna
like
say
they've been
never
trampled on hundreds of times.
That's
and like,
crazy.
The fest where I'd hide hammers and nails and duct tape and ear protection and gloves, like all over the place. Ladders here, tarps there. You just get so good at like managing how to make the whole system work flawlessly without anybody noticing, and you just keep doing it and doing it. And that's when I realized, like, oh, I could put on like a really big music festival. Like, I can move this to the city. Like, I already have the connections to the porta potties and this person, that sponsor, and the sound team, and this and the film, and the whole infrastructure. After doing it for so long, but it's like all self-taught through doing it DIY in my backyard over 10 years, and it grew so much.
And all that stemming from you feeling. Like you looking out for the people who don't feel being at home. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's manifested into something like this. Like that's crazy. Like do you ever I mean, you just kind of reflected, but I mean, do you ever just kind of really take that in that it's turned into something
it's weird
as
when
great
it's
as this?
Thank you. It's weird when it's a long-term thing. Like what you've experienced is huge, but it's like 2 years.
Exactly.
So it's like fast.
And I don't really
fast.
Yeah, of course. And I'm 20, and
Right.
I'm a child.
You'll
essentially.
need to my age to even be able to properly reflect.
Exactly.
Not enough time has happened.
Yeah.
Like you can probably properly reflect on what it's like to be 8.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But when you were 10, you couldn't.
Right. Of
You
course.
know?
Of course. Like I
So-
don't even think I can really reflect on when I was like 16. you
Right.
know?
It
It's
takes
like,
a
it's
lot
4
of
years
time
ago.
to juxtapose it. You need to have different sections of your life to be like, oh my God. Like I can chunk my 8 and 16 and 20. I could think 16's like first got my job at Subway. It was awful. Made $6 an hour. My boss was awful. And I drove to my 1998 Oldsmobile to work and I installed the CD player and I could see the burnt CDs in the case on the side of on the bench seat. I could see it all now, and I had a stash of Sunny D and Oreos in my trunk. It was the first time ever I was able to buy brand name stuff.
Awesome.
And it's like I could see all of that, but like I wouldn't understand what that meant at 20. It took until now to be like, especially making my own money now, to see like I would never even buy Sunny D and Oreos now. Like that's what I thought like real money would buy you back then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like to reflect like a little bit, but like I said, I do agree with you. Like not as much as time has passed in my situation. Like I used to work at Six Flags. Like that was my first job.
Nice. Oh, you live up by Gurney.
Yeah, I'm
Close
like
enough.
I've been to like the Lake County area.
Yeah.
So the Six Flags was like 15 minutes from my old house.
Yeah.
And that was my first job, and I also made like $7-8 an hour. But
What'd
I
you
worked.
do there?
I was a ride operator. I didn't want to do the food or the.
You did the ride stuff?
Yeah, it was awesome. Well,
Welcome to the Iron Wolf.
Yes,
Oh,
that
is
was-
the Iron Wolf still there? No.
they got rid of it, but I remember it being like when I worked there, it was gone. But I love the Iron Wolf. It was
Some of
amazing.
the guys, it was always some goofy guy like you in high school, just like, all right, everybody, get ready for the shockwave. It's gonna rattle you, and the shockwave probably caused CTE. I don't know. If you
Oh
remember.
my
Do you remember the shockwave? You might be too young.
I don't remember I heard of it, but I don't think I definitely haven't.
It was bad.
Wrote it. Yeah.
It was one of those. You're just like the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time, like your head's hitting
Oh
stuff.
gosh, yeah.
It was terrible.
No, I worked the American Eagle.
That one's bad too.
So-
That one hurts.
It does, and it's incredibly
You worked
old.
the American Eagle.
I
God,
like-
I've been on that so many times.
And I love the ride itself because it has history. It's like it was been there since the park is open.
yeah, since the 70s, right?
Like yeah, but the like they need to like redo it, man.
How is that safe? How is that legal?
Don't ask me, man. They just told me to hit the buttons and just.
I love how
say
you're
a little- say the
16 years
little-
old and responsible for like all these people going.
It
on
is.
this ride.
It is kind of interesting
no
that,
sense
that
to
they're
me.
like this highly like it. Like I don't know, and I've been in like situations where I was like I said, looking back on it, I'm like, God, I was 16. Like I'm surprised they like let me like be in charge because like say like the lead was gone because I was never like in a higher up position. I was just like the 16-year-old kid who would work there, right? So like, me and the other 16-year-olds were just like it was just us in there, and there's been times where like the ride will come back like smoking. Because it's just old. It's like it's a dinosaur,
Yeah.
you know. So like it's always bound to break.
can't
I've been
believe-
electrocuted on it, and
Oh my god, I can't believe they still legally can like have that operate.
Look,
It seems so dangerous. It's just
Look,
wood that's been there for 50 years.
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. Like I thought the same thing.
It's a legend. Like I just think of the big black spider during Fright Fest on the wood. You know, when you
Yeah.
drive past on 294.
Yeah.
You know, like I went to Fright Fest so much as a kid. It was so much fun. Oh
I
my
would
God.
see. I'm not a big. I like so. I'm not like a big scary like. I don't like haunted houses. Like I've never liked that. I've gone to Fright Fest, but like, and I'll go with like friends, and I'll go and I'll be like, yeah, like let's go, no problem. But like, I'm like trying not to like poop my pants when I'm out there because like I don't like walking through and like people come up behind you and like
Scare you,
yeah, they
okay.
scream and like because like I get I don't know I get like. I don't know.
Startled fast.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm naturally like a jittery kid, you know. So like
You want
I
to go to
don't know.
Funny Fest. You want to be laughing the whole time.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, of course.
That'd
We
be a
should do-
fun idea.
we should-
Everyone, there's
Funny
just people
Fest.
walking to make you laugh.
Funny Fest, yeah, yeah, and it's a bunch of just like low key comedians, like on the come up. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Bunch of you and your peers.
Yeah, yeah. It's me and the fellas trying to get somewhere. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, Six Flags was fun, but like I don't. Like I said, looking back, it's like, wow. Like I can't believe like I like was responsible for like
Yeah.
the lives of people who are
Yeah,
on
that's crazy.
on the American Eagle. You know, it's like
That right should. I'm going to tell you right now, American Eagle, you should not exist. I don't know.
think you should. I think it should still be around, but like the newer coasters have like they're pretty. I like to say they have solid safety procedures. I mean,
They're way more safe. They're so smooth. It's like riding in a luxury car on these new ones.
exactly,
They're so smooth.
and like they've tested it. And I'm not saying they haven't tested the American Eagle, but it's like it's kind of obvious, like because like on X, I've been on the X flight, or like that's a more new. That was,
I
that was
haven't
within
been
like the
to
last
Six
decade.
Flags in a bit. I haven't
Me
been there
neither.
probably in like 10 years. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe longer.
Well, there's like a ride. I don't know, like the newer rides, like you have a big harness and like at least when I'm in it, like I know anything can technically happen, but it's like.
but don't
when
they also have the safety seatbelt like
they have
connecting to
yeah,
it?
they have all this like stuff where it's like even if the God forbid something terrible happens, like there's another level,
Safety,
there's
yeah.
another layer of safety to it,
Yeah.
right? But like the American Eagle, it's just you sit down and you
This
put-
little bar goes on, yeah.
like a bar that barely like fits.
It
You
has
can,
some-
you can still like I can like stand up on the ride. Like I wanted to. If I wanted to, I could stand up and like. I'm just like, how come? Why can't we just like update it? Like I don't know.
But see, like, I could see how it gets inspected, but how is it physically possible to inspect every bolt and nail on the whole? Because there's a million of them.
I
Because it's
don't
massive.
know.
The wooden ones have so many bolts and nails because it takes so much more to hold up that weight. It's like it's not. You get one big old beam to hold up a steel roller coaster. You know, like one on an angle, maybe if it's like a turn, and that's it. Because it's steel.
Yeah,
But the wooden ones are like, how do they keep up and check all of this?
And if like
How does the wood not rot? How often are they painting this? That's a lot of paint. How do you paint every nook and cranny to where water can't get in and rot the wood?
I
That's
these are
what
all
I
my
know a lot about
questions.
wood and building and doing a lot of construction work. And like that one, wooden roller coaster, I'm like, I don't understand the upkeep of making sure there's no rot
I
over
don't know.
50 years.
And then we would yeah, and like what like afterwards, like sometimes we'd have to like go under the coaster to collect like the phones that were dropped or like hats or
yeah.
whatever. But like I'd be under I'm like if this collapses on me, like
How many stuff would fall?
I don't know.
A
Man.
lot.
Yeah, like we would get a bunch of phone. I mean, kids.
What would you do with it? Return them or keep them?
Well, they would. I mean, if they were phones, and they most of the time they were like destroyed. Like not even like oh, it's a little crack on the string. Like
Well, yeah, it
like,
just fell
it's-
200 feet.
Exact. And it's on probably on the way down. It hit a bunch of
Yeah,
wooden
it
beams,
was also
right?
moving at a high speed.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, if it's like hats, like
That's
we're just
so
like put
funny.
in lost and
What
found.
a great
but-
job. You do look like a guy that would be the guy with the backwards hat. All right, guys, welcome to American Eagle.
Yeah,
Keep your hands inside.
I mean, I look back and laugh at the time out, but like, I was working in 95-degree weather in the in the middle of summer, and I'd come home and like practice every night.
But those are the days that make you love what you do now.
oh, absolutely.
You need those jobs.
Absolutely.
Everyone needs to have sucky jobs. You should not be that kid that just never had a bad job.
Yeah.
You need to build that character. Suffer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's no better time to suffer than when you're 16 years old and underneath the protection of your parents. Like,
Oh yeah.
just suffer.
Exactly. I agree. I'm
especially in the summer.
exactly. Yeah. I don't know.
I just realized we had a huge side tangent from a serious thing when you're like, do you ever reflect on like how you got to where
and we
you
got
are?
to Six Flags. Yeah. But I mean, I
It's
tried
hard
to
to
wrap
see
it up
it.
because I was like, because I tried to like bring it back. I was
Yeah.
like, it's all from you trying to like.
It's hard to see
manifest
it,
Yeah.
what it manifests, the lives it touches, the people it reaches. It's meant a lot to a lot of people. It's meant stuff to my high school, the local restaurants and stores that have sold stuff. Even the police were so impressed. They're just like, this is so cool. We like want to come to. We can't believe you were able to do all this. Like you kind of just did it without any problems. One of my last parties at the house, I was burning down the DZ. We took the wood apart, kept what we wanted, and then we had a big fire, and I was burning stuff. The fire department came. First time ever in my life. I've had so many bonfires. I probably had at least a few thousand bonfires.
Wow.
My dad used to bring home wood at his job. He cut up wood working at the steel factory, the crates that held the wood. He'd cut them up and bring them home. So I had bonfires forever. And that's the same wood I would use in the DZ when I'd start fires to keep the whole place warm. That was crazy. I can't believe I built a fireplace in there and had. That was wild.
All by yourself. Too.
All by
like,
myself.
Just you, man. Just Ben doing Ben stuff.
I mean, there was friends around, but there was mostly them. Like, if I need an extra hand, because it's like when you
Right,
come up with
right.
the idea, they don't know what's in your head, but you know.
Of course.
And it's not like I have a professional map laid out like an architect and a civil engineer who are looking at it with the hard hat and they roll it out. I'm like, okay, that goes there. And following code, I was just like winging it. So like if you're winging it, everyone's like, okay, they're there to like hand or hold something for you and you just do all the measuring and stuff. It's so much fun. There's nothing more fun than building stuff yourself, no matter what that is. And sometimes it's what you've built in a different way, but like doing something yourself is like, no matter what it is, from building a toolbox or building a large following, you're building something. It's really fun. And that's what this has been. But seeing it grow to it, because it was such a slow process, like slow burner and really, really incremental and so many ups and downs and good and bads and learning stuff, it's hard to see. But now that it's done that chapter, it's in a new chapter, looking back on it, it's overwhelming. Like the amount of people that I've met, the friends I've made, the kids I've inspired, the musicians I've recorded. I mean, thousands of songs and all these events and the photographs and the memories and the conversations. It's like the interviews. It's a lot. It's a lot for anyone's lifetime, let alone just 10 years. It's so concentrated. So much stuff happened.
And it's a lot of, I mean, despite all your hardships too, you know, like it's here, you know what I mean? Like I think that just the fact that you kept, you know, that's just alone, you kept going and going, and it's such a slow burn. I mean, that's just, it's like I said, of course that's going to inspire people. You know, it's like, you know, 2 + 2 is 4, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's amazing.
Perseverance inspires people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's crazy because the stuff that inspires them, they haven't even seen the hardest stuff. The hardest stuff you usually keep to yourself.
Yeah. Like you tell them all the good stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you tell them all the good
I want
stuff.
to do that, and then it's like it's gonna come with this. Yeah.
I've had kids ask, like, I say kids, but people your age have reached out like, "Hey, we want to start a DIY thing. Can we like ask you questions?" I'm like, "Sure." I'm gonna be honest, and they'll ask. I'm like, "Well, can you handle like investing, you know, $10,000 with equipment and losing all of it because not enough people donated at the fest?" And they're just like, "What?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm." Like, that's the stuff I found out when I would rent out my rooms and I lived in a closet at 25 years old, so I could do DZ Fest 2015 over there. I lived in a closet for many months to rent out my room, so I had enough money to get by to put on the fest.
Wow.
Yeah, and then in 2016, I started living in the cabin in my back. I built a huge cabin to live in, so I could again save money and rent out the rooms, but have a little bit more privacy. And I lived in there for 2 years, and then I lived there again for those 2 years.
Man, you're built different, man. I mean, that's like you're a tank, you know? Like look at you.
It's like,
but now you're here. You know what I mean? It's like that. Like I said, perseverance, of course, inspires. But like,
now I have a closet I can like walk into. I've never even had a closet before. Yeah. I used to live in one. The one I have now for my clothes is bigger than the one I lived in. It's hysterical. The thing is, these things don't bother me. Suffering, I like suffering. It makes me, I want to fail.
Absolutely.
I like suffering.
Failures your friend.
Failure's your friend. It's the only way I've ever known to prevail. Is because it gives you the optics that you can't ever get. It helps to lift the veil that no one can see or understand. It's like going to a different dimension. It's like going through a wormhole when you suffer, when you fail in tremendous ways, because you're one of very few people who are experiencing that kind of suffering when it's tremendous. So it helps you to see clearly like what you should never do again to be in this situation, like the things you need to do to not feel that way. And not only does it do that, but it helps to humanize and humble you and relate to people in some of the lowest places on this planet and give a perspective of like what is really important.
Exactly.
And it's not about a mansion or fame or how many women you have. It's like some people think that, and those are like the weird, and I don't really care for that type of world of like social media and those TikTok stars, people, you know, that want to have this extravagant, you know, I want to have a tiger on a leash, like that type of stuff.
Yes.
It's like, that's not real. Like, I want to suffer. I want to give up my bed to a band and go sleep outside. So I know what it's like to sleep outside. Like, I walk every morning 5 miles, and no matter rain or shine. And today, I don't know if you know this or not, but this morning was freezing, and it was really windy out. Like, was it windy up by you?
Yeah, we didn't lose power, but we lost like our internet and stuff last night, and or I guess like, you know, that thing where like they'll flicker and your microwave beep. Yeah, like it's stuff like that. But yeah, it was
super windy, and wind at 24 degrees in the dark, cold is brutal. It was like a real feel of 10. So I'm the only one out there at the park walking, and it has a massive hill, and you go to the hill and you get hit with these massive gusts. And now I'm like it's cold, and I could feel my face is getting like that windburn.
Yeah.
But I'm out there just smiling, laughing with my earbuds in, just like, this is going to make when it's 60 and sunny so much easier. This is going to make the next time I stub my toe easier. This is going to make next time something doesn't go my way easier. And it did, because later on that day, I'd like to make really nice pour over coffees with the V60 and a scale and the whole sheboygan. And I'm making it and it drained too fast. And I almost wanted to like throw like a temper tantrum, like, God damn it, why did it drain so fast? And I was like, man, I was just freezing and like dying earlier on purpose. I do these things on purpose to strengthen myself.
I feel you.
And it just makes everything else in life a joke. Like everything else is so easy when you suffer that way. Last year in DZ Fest 2021, a hammer fell off the stage and hit me in the head. And it definitely should have killed me. And it hurt, but I was just off to the side to where it hit my head and just slid down, and it cut me here. And my face was swollen for that fest. It happened the day before I was building it. And I forgot it on top of the ladder. And on top of ladders, they have, the triangle ladders, they have a hole on top of them. You ever see that?
Yes, yeah.
That's for sliding your hammer in.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot to slide it in all the way, and it fell off the top. But it was a really tall one. It just fell off the ladder and it went straight to my head.
Oh, wow.
And it's just that type of stuff that it's like, it sucks, but it's like, it just makes you so resilient, like type of like pain and suffering.
No.
You know?
And I've said this type of things before to people, and they think like, they're like, oh, you need help. But it's like, it's like finally like, no, I absolutely, no, I'm the same way. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm it's, in a weird way, I'm almost glad all the terrible, all the suffering, right? Every hardship, all that stuff. It's like I wouldn't know, like what you just said. Like that cold and windy walk that you took this morning. That's going to make when it's 60 and sunny easier, right?
Yeah.
But like I think you can relate that to like I'm glad all the terrible things that have happened to me or whatever, or all the hardships, the suffering, whatever. It's like because I wouldn't know the good things. Like I wouldn't understand the value of the bright side, or of all the good things that have happened, So, but no, I'm the same way. I worked out this morning too, and I walked out of. I swim after I.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where at? Like a gym?
It's just like a local YMCA.
Dude, swimming is the best thing for you.
I love swimming.
You have a sauna there too?
I do. Yeah, I didn't use it. Well,
use it every day.
Well, and normally I do, but this morning, and I wanted to because I like to meditate too, and I definitely wanted to. I did meditate at home before I came here, but I was like. I definitely wanted to meditate in the sauna.
Are you sure
today.
you're 20? You're acting like a wise 35-year-old right now. I swim, use the sauna, meditate, and I eat vegan smoothies for breakfast. And I'm like, well, that's me. You sound like me, but you're so much younger.
Yeah,
Where did you learn all this so young? This is those are all very smart acts to be doing for longevity.
I don't know.
Just pay attention. You actually listen. When people speak.
I don't know. I love learning, and I like finding ways to be better. And, I'm like I I want to be better tomorrow, or I want to. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, I want to learn something just new every day. I try to just learn. I try to just, like I said, I like to. That's why I like sometimes how I said before, I'm on the train and I will randomly just go, what are you listening to, man? And just I will just force myself to have a conversation with someone, no matter if it's awkward or not. I just try to get there. But I didn't use the sauna today because there was a bunch of people in there, and I already had a hard time trying to get in the pool. But what I'm trying to bring that around to is that I was like, whatever, I'll go home. And I'm walking in the parking lot, leaving the Y, and it's still cold and windy, and I'm in trunks, so here's an unwise thing about me. I'm not a very I'm a little impatient when it comes to little things. I'm not a guy who really waits till I'm completely dry to go to the car, right? So I'm just like, yeah, my car's right there. I'll walk. But yeah, no, walk. As soon as I walked out of there,
trunks freezing.
Yeah,
do they turn into icicles?
No, literally. And I got in the car and I'm shaking, and I'm like,
you don't get dressed in the locker room or anything.
I was like I said, I was going to, but I don't know. I was just like, whatever. I'll just go home. Yeah, I'll go home and do it. Yeah. Normally I do. After I get back from the sauna, I'll come back into the locker room. I'll change, but whatever. But today was just a little different, I guess. It was. I don't know. I normally go a little bit earlier. I try to go a little bit earlier, but I woke up a little bit later than normal today.
What time do you tend to wake up?
I try to I in an ideal world, and I don't do this often, but I like waking up at like 5 or 6 a.m. just because it's just like
You are an old man.
because because I like being, I don't know, like
what time do you go to bed?
Oh, well, let's not talk. Well, if we talk about sleep, that's a whole, yeah.
Sleep is the foundation, my
Sleep,
friend.
I know that. But sometimes,
It's different though when you're 20. You can do.
I can do that and
Just do the crazy stuff.
And I know that, but like I said, like I was up till like 3 last night, like working on a video, like because like sometimes I'll start at 11 and I'll film and then I get really caught up and like I said, I don't think about the time. Like I don't look at the clock. I just, oh shit, I'm done. Oh, it's almost 4. Okay, I guess I'll go to bed.
So you don't do it like during the day. You don't make that like your work day. Like make them during the day.
I'm like I don't really. I have like a schedule type, but it's more just like I'm more just like this is all I want to do today, and I don't care what like order I get it done. It's just like okay, it's in the morning. Let's go work out just to kind of get started, right? And then I'll come back. Maybe I don't know. I'll clean my room, do something just like, just kind of a chore just to kind of just stay, I guess, disciplined. And then like, yeah, and then I don't know if you would agree with this in terms of creativity, but for my creativity, I tend to notice that I get better ideas at night. I don't know what it is. Or sometimes if I wake up right in the morning, I'll go that, but normally right at night.
It's the night thing.
It's a night thing. I'm a night owl.
I do miss that. I don't do night anymore because I just keep it 7 every day, all year round, every day. The sun, the circadian rhythm thing, it's very real. It's very good, but I do miss the music I'd write, the really extravagant and odd time signatures, 15-minute songs. I'd make up all my own tunings. I'd make like really, every song I ever made was a different tuning, a made up tuning.
So like, would you like?
So like,
what would you consider the theory into? Like, what? Can you give me an example?
So like F sharp, C sharp, A sharp, A sharp. No, so it'd be make F sharp, D sharp. So that's relative minor. Then another F sharp, and then maybe like an A sharp. So I'd have like. So
it's like an F sharp tuning. Like, what would you call that? Like, what would you call that tuning?
I don't know because it's not open. So it's not like an open F. It doesn't create the chord.
Right.
It doesn't create a major chord or a minor chord.
Would you put like a capo on it?
So I do tuning, and every song would change. I'd do like G, G, D, G, B, B. I'd get really extravagant with it. I try to make sure every song was in a different key and never use a capo. I always had this thing where I always felt like inanimate objects had feelings, and I was like, these frets, not every fret's being touched. They all need love too. And not every note's being played. Most people play in C, G, D, and A, maybe E, maybe a B, but like that's nothing beyond that, especially in modern rock and guitar, unless you use a capo or down tune, which is not always the case. So I wanted every type of vibration to have its chance to be heard. So every song was in a different key, but the whole guitar, no capos. So I'd play as many frets as I could, and that's where my like experimental and improvisational guitar playing came from. When I play guitar and I'm doing like my version of a solo, I tend to play I go everywhere.
Yeah,
I don't stay in any place. I play every part of the guitar and play the guitar itself. Makes a lot of strange sounds, but I really like more of being a sound artist. Soundsmith, I've been called, which I like a lot. And so I'd make up the tunings, and I have a lot of them. I had like 35 different made up tunings I came up with. And I learned a lot of it through just learning circle fifths and music theory in college. And it was a lot of fun, but it got really hard because every time you play a song, you have to relearn how to play the guitar. You can't just do the finger positions are not the same anymore.
But I would find I would think that's awesome because like I said, you're learning again.
Yeah.
Like to go back to square one.
It was fun.
I find so much joy in just going, okay, now we're going back to how it was before. Yeah, that's awesome.
But the best part were the sounds because you get unique overtones you can't get. You're not playing a power chord.
Standard, yeah.
You're hitting one note and you're getting like 4 F sharps ringing out slightly out of tune, so you get a chorus effect. Like a natural chorus effect, and then you get like 1 D sharp, so you get like this beautiful chorus of like all these notes, and then the tension of a minor out of nowhere that's like in the middle of it. That's not a very normal sounding chord.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that, man.
It's wild.
That is
it's
wild. I have a Michael Kelly Telecaster. I don't know if you know Michael Kelly. I think they're a smaller instrument company because every time I say Michael Kelly, no one knows.
I never heard of Michael Kelly.
Yeah, they're really. I've had great experience with the guitar, but Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that because I'm like I said, I'm still like I said, you said that you when you solo you go across the fretboard. I'm at that phase where I'm still stuck in the pentatonic box. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going, well, I can do this, you know, or
Yeah.
like I know this scale, I'm
Like
just
kind
gonna
of
go up
in
and
a
down.
blues world pentatonic, or
I say that, but it's like sometimes. So when I write songs, at least like for Interstellar, when we play it or when I've showed the chords to like other people, they're like one of our songs, like it's I would say it's in D minor, right? But there's like B natural in it, and then people are like, what's weird? And then it'll go to B flat major, you know, and people or B flat major is in D minor, I think, right? Yeah.
it's been a while.
It's been a while too. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't taken the AP Music Theory test in forever.
It's been a while.
And I don't think I did
Wait,
that
so
well
you
on
said
it.
B flat minor,
No, major.
B flat
Major. In the key of D minor. I think that's right.
So,
yeah, because
it
D
would
and
be.
F
It
are
would
in
be.
the are in
It would be.
D minor already. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so then B major, right? So people are like what? Like, so is it not? It's like a D Dorian thing. And I'm like, man, I don't even think about that. I try not to think about that. I just kind of.
I thought it was a D Dorian. The Dorian.
Oh, the Dorian. Yeah. No, like
It's like
D,
that D
Dorian.
Dorian.
Yeah.
I call those accidental notes, or some people call those accidental notes. I call them everything in its right place. You know, like if
Right.
it is what it is, like if that's what works. Not every song. That's the problem I have with music theory and classical music, and like trying to quantify and fit it on there. It's like some of the coolest music I've heard. It
Broke the rules.
It breaks the rules, and it goes places, and it goes from major and minor. And it can you make it work? And it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like that's how I was because I was like when I wrote it, I wasn't going like, oh, wouldn't it be so wacky if I just because I know this isn't in D minor. I'm gonna put this wild chord in there. It's just like no, I naturally found it. Like oh yeah, I think this works. You know, like that was miscommunication. That was one of the songs that we played at the sessions. There's another song that Jeffrey wrote, and during the main riff is like in G major, and then during the chorus it's G minor. So Andy is like a big theory guy, so he's like, oh, so it's like it goes from G major to G minor. I'm like, why don't we just say G, and then just you don't say. I know when you say like A, it normally means like major, right? But I'm just like, let's just call it G, and then like it just whenever it wants to be its own, you know. Whether it's major or minor, just let the music do its thing. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of a less is more type of guy when it comes, or like not less is more. Just like I don't. I'm the same way. I like the music where it's just like it's just what works, not necessarily like this is how it's supposed to go.
You can't play that. It's not in the key.
Yeah, I can't. I'm like, dude, get out.
If
my
it
face.
works,
Yeah.
it works. If it sounds awful and it's giving too much tension, it's not fitting the vibe, then yeah, we won't do it.
Of course, yeah, but it's
know?
like when it does and it's not the rules. It's like, dude, get out of here with the rules. What are rules,
Yeah,
man?
listen to
Like
Jimi
what-
Hendrix play.
Yeah,
You know, some
yeah.
of my favorite guitar players never follow the rules. Like, have you ever heard of the band Sonic Youth?
I love Sonic Youth. Yes.
Yeah. So my favorite, that's that jazz master over there.
Oh, yeah?
Allegedly, Leonardo and Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth played that jazz.
Really? So where'd you
Yeah.
get that from?
So I bought it on eBay from a guitar shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, when I was 21. I was just older than you, and the guy selling it said he had a Sonic Blue, a Fiesta Red, and the Ocean Turquoise one. And he said that they came in while on tour and played in Milwaukee, and they went into the shop. They're known for going to guitar shops and buying up the Jazz Masters and Jaguars when they go around. Mm-hmm. And they saw all three, and they were playing with them, and they played that one, they played the other ones, and that one just didn't feel the same to them, so they bought the Sonic Blue and the Fiesta Red one and left that one. Allegedly. That's kind of a strange thing to make up. Why would you make that up?
Right, like yeah, you gotta think about the intention.
All that
of why
adds
they said
up.
that.
Like all of that, I've done the history of them and like research them. Like they do that when they go to places. If they came to Chicago, they would 100% go to Chicago Music Exchange and buy guitars. Like Sonic Youth is notorious for having like hundreds of offset Fender guitars. So
That's awesome. You should just say that. That is the true
that's what I
story.
stick with.
Yeah, that we can just say that happened.
It looks beautiful right now with the light.
It does, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know too like I know about like drum gear, but like guitar,
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like I said, the guys in Interstellar are always like they're like, oh, like this is a 1970s like Fender thing.
Your
And I'm
bass
like,
player, he was
oh,
a gear guy.
he's our gear guy.
He was talking about that. I
100%.
could tell by his pedal board.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were nerding out about it.
Yes,
I'm a gear guy too.
And I want to be. I am a gear guy when it comes to. I know. I know. I feel left out.
I can help you. I know a lot about guitars.
I would love
effects pedals too.
I would love to learn. Yeah, and Andy helps so much with that. I would love to learn though from anybody. But like, yeah, like I said, when it comes to drums and like sticks or whatever, like in the drumming world, I'm like, oh yeah, I can talk because like I said, I was formally trained on drum. Like after, so when I got to high school, I started taking lessons. Like I was self-taught in the beginning, and then I learned like technique and rudiments and like how to play through a click and like polyrhythms. Like I know I am formally trained on that. But when it comes to guitar, I'm like, I took a few guitar lessons. That's when I learned the pentatonic, and then I was like, cool, and then I'm still kind of, yeah. I'm always, like I said, I'm that's still another kind of thing I'm trying to really. Of course, I want to master it, but just
keep
I know,
practicing.
Of course,
happen.
yeah.
You did it with drums; it'll keep happening.
Exactly, yeah.
And you play in a band. When you play in a band, you get better at anything.
Yeah.
Do any of them play drums in the band?
Yeah. So, yeah, all of them can like keep a beat and like play. Our singer Jeff, his previous band, he was the drummer.
For fun, have him hop on drums, and you play guitar. And maybe not just for fun during jam sessions.
Yeah.
Maybe not live or something, but just because the thing that got me so good at guitar so fast was playing it along with a drummer and a bass, like playing along in a band.
Yeah, and that's
because it forces you to be able to like improvise and like try stuff while they keep the foundation going.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually how we all got. Well, so the Interstellar started when me and Jeff got together. We've been friends since we were like younger. We went to high school together, but we were friends in high school, but like we're not like friends how we are now. Like we weren't like close until like after high school, but we started getting together and just like randomly jamming. And I would, of course, most of the time I'm on the drum set just messing around, but there was times where he would get on the drums and I would like play something. But like this opinion could change in this very moment, but like I'm a huge Corey Wong fan.
Corey Wong.
Wolfpack, you know Wolfpack?
Yeah.
Okay, he's the guitarist for Wolfpack, or one of the guitarists for Wolfpack.
They're a cool band.
I love Wolfpack. A Spotify Rap came out today, and they're like every year.
How many minutes did you have?
Like 35,000.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's like I feel like that's low because I was looking at other people's stories and they're like 90,000. I'm like, dude, what? Like,
yeah.
They were my top 5 though, but.
That I'm surprised. Yeah, I would think that you would have more. Yeah, 30.
I would think so,
that's
too.
a lot because I saw people. I was like, you shouldn't post that. They had like 7. I was like, that's nothing.
I know. I'm like,
everyone was
please.
posting today. I was like, I can't post. Everyone's posting and I can't.
No, I don't. I'm not that person. Like, it's nothing against anyone. It's just like I'm just like, oh, I don't know. It's just like it's just for me. Like I
also
know.
can't post because it's just it'll make everyone feel bad about their lives.
I kind of feel the same. Yeah, it's a basic because I'm like, this is what I'm listening to. Yeah. Like I don't want to gatekeep these artists.
No, like the minutes, it would just be like, this is unhealthy. How many minutes I listen to music?
Oh,
like it was.
So you're not going to share how many minutes you've listened to?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I was 125.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Last year was 121, so I allocated.
And you said nice to me when I said 35. You're like, oh, nice. Like that was like.
It said you're in the top 99.9% of the world. I was like, hell yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool. I don't know. I thought
music's
it would be more
always
too.
on. It's all day, every day. I have my phone.
It is for me too, though, and I don't understand. I don't know what it is. I thought it would be more, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm always kind of shocked when I see the Spotify Rap, but like they said my top song was Something in the Way by Nirvana, which I have played a bunch of times, especially after seeing the new Batman movie. I don't know if you've seen
good.
That. Matt Reeves is a.
It was great. I'm excited for the trilogy.
Me too. I know. I think he's announcing the HBO series or whatever. I think that'd be kind of interesting.
That was going to happen, then it wasn't, then it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think of Joker
with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I thought his portrayal was awesome. Yeah. I thought it
was so dark.
It was very dark. Yeah, and I was surprised Todd Phillips directed it because he did The Hangover. He did The Hangover, and I was like, I love the Hangover movies, but I was like, damn,
I loved Joker. It was beautiful. And when I kept saying like this movie is where like DC and a lot of comics need to go.
Absolutely.
And it did so well in the box office. And then a lot of people were like, it was okay. And I was like, okay. Then the Academy Awards nominates for like 11 awards. I was like, It wasn't bad. That score was gorgeous. The cinematography was so beautiful.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I remember the controversy that was happening when it was coming out because they were like, oh, like it has violent, like it could inspire like kids
People
who
have been saying that forever.
And I know
they said
I know
about
that,
GTA 3 back in 2001.
Exactly. And they I think they always will say it. But like I remember like all that controversy with the movie, and I went to go see it opening night, and I remember walking out of the theater, and I was like, I felt like because Arthur, he's so he's it's about mental health really.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know if this is what Todd Phillips was trying to do, but I watched the film and I left with like, wow, we just need to be nicer to people.
Yeah.
Because like he's pushed by
Everyone's just mean to him.
yeah, everyone's mean to him,
He's
and
just
he
overlooked.
snaps, and it's just like
God, it's such a disturbing movie.
it is very
It's good though, but it's not
it's
disturbing like
fantastic.
it's gonna make me do something. It's disturbing because it shows how real mental health problems are. How many people just get overlooked because they're not.
Yeah.
They don't look a certain way. They don't have a certain intelligence. They don't act a certain way. They don't dress a certain
Right,
way.
and I was like, but like I said, people were so scared that this was going to inspire people, and I was like, I was inspired just to be nicer to the average. You know what I mean? Like I said, be kind to people for they have a battle you don't know that they're or they're facing a battle you know nothing about, and it's just like I feel like I left the movie being like I'd rather like I that's what I took from it. Like I didn't. I mean, I've never watched any piece of media and felt like I'm going to do something violent, but it's like, especially with Joker, I'm like, I'm trying to go, okay, what's the controversial thing? Does Joaquin Phoenix look at the camera and go, hey, do this, do that? It's like, no, it's like his character is pushed and like he snaps, it's just, I don't know. And it's, like I said, I was like, oh, it's almost like a movie about being better to people. That's what I took from, that's my interpretation.
Yeah.
But I was like, what's this controversy? Like, come on, get out of here. Like, this is nothing. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The Batman was great too.
The Batman was so good.
So I think, but like I said, I think because I heard, because I'm a huge Nirvana is probably like Kurt Cobain probably is the reason I started playing guitar. Or like
really?
Dave Grohl is one of my biggest drumming influences for sure. But like Cobain's artistry, like he's probably the number one person that has inspired me. Like when I was young, I was obsessed. I could tell you, like I know all like their albums. That's why I geeked out when you interviewed Steve Albini.
Oh yeah,
because I was like, oh my
yeah,
god,
that was crazy.
I can't even imagine.
Did you listen to that one?
I listened to a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you asked him any questions about in utero.
We did
sessions.
talk about that. Yeah,
gosh.
but it was cool because I've listened to a lot of his interviews, and when I got to talk to him, I wanted to talk to him about stuff that he just doesn't talk about. So we just mostly talked about a lot about the Chicago DIY music scene that he started, and I was like, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but like I was like, wow, we have a lot of similarities. Like the reason why you started doing so much stuff is like why I do it. Like he just had the gear, wanted to know how to do it, was working with a bunch of friends, would trade like a song, like record a band, would trade for like a show or a poster, like it's stuff that I literally do.
Wow.
And I saw the way he came up, and we started talking about that, and then like how it led into Surfer Rosa with the Pixies that got picked up, which is one of my favorite records. And then when Kurt heard that, Kurt Cobain, he was like, told the label like, well, let me get Steve Albini to do it. Also, like they liked his sound, and then he did that, but he wasn't like that famous at the time. That made him a little bit bigger. But then because Nirvana was so big, people didn't like the way In Utero sounded because it has a very raw sound compared to Nevermind.
And they love Nirvana has said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they said that they that was like the sound that they were looking.
That's what you would think
Yeah.
of when you hear Nirvana. If you listen to Bleach and you listen to In Utero, they make sense on bookends.
Yes.
Nevermind sticks out like a sore thumb. It's a great record, but it's so polished. It is so clean. It is big production for like this grunge punk rock band from heroin addicts sleeping in the alleyways, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And how raw and visceral and aggressive and poetic and nuanced his words and lyrics were, and the concepts and his thoughts, it didn't make sense for Nevermind. It made sense for In Utero.
Yes.
In Utero is my favorite record by them. So to talk to him about that and like to be amongst him, and the way he's talking about them, it's like, I was talking to someone else, like, yeah, and then Aaron and I were talking about this. He's just like, yeah, I know, and Kurt and I, and he showed me this. And he's talking about the tapes he showed them. He would show, to get Steve Albini an idea of what he wanted, he showed him tapes of never before heard songs and sounds of Nevermind. So he was
Okay.
like listening to like B-sides of it, and none of the stuff's out there. It's like unheard stuff, and it's like so like hanging out with Kurt Cobain, listening to like B-sides, like it's crazy, right?
That blows my mind.
And I'm just sitting there in electrical audio, just listening, like these very mics, just like sitting there, like you're breathing into his mic, and that camera, and I'm just like, huh, people are just people, like
Right, yeah.
money and fame and numbers, they're just
exactly.
it's not
they're
really
just dudes.
just dudes,
Just
people
people.
are just people.
Yeah.
And he was really nice and really cool guy, and he had an hour to do it, so we did. I mean, I could have talked to him forever, but we did an hour, and it was really fun. And yeah, it's been really cool to do that. That like was a really nice thing because it got a lot of more musicians and people to like listen to the podcast and kind of look into it a little bit more, which is nice.
Yeah. And that is, I was just, when I saw that, I was like, he got Steve out. The guys in Interstellar know that, of course, they know Nirvana too. So, and I was like, this guy did Steve Albini. Like, what? Like, we were geeking. It was so cool.
Yeah, he was great. It was fun.
And from what I was listening to, he seemed like a really genuine guy. The thing is though, like, I knew who he, like, obviously I know the name, but like, I'd never watched an interview until I saw that. So it was like cool that you like. I mean, I'm sure there's like countless other Steve Albini interviews, but like
there is,
hearing, but like with you,
it was a little different. I've had people tell me who listen to a lot, big fans, said that they like mine the most, not because they know me, but said that the questions I asked were not very normal ones. We didn't stay in the world of fame and that, and we kind of talked about other things and like where that motivation comes from. Where did you come from to like want to be like this kind of the producer who doesn't take royalties and has a big name, but is kind of like on the low down about it. You know?
Yeah.
It was cool. And he is notorious for being a little short and quaint and a little irritable, but I only felt it for 1 second with me once towards the very end, but not really. It was just like, we were talking about like advertising and he was just kind of like, yeah, well, I don't really care. I just pay for advertised blocker and I'll take the money off my channel. Like he just we're on different pages with that, but like other than that, he was actually not like a passive aggressive or rude or anything at all. Which is I've heard he can be and I've seen it, like definitely can be. He's just kind of like over it all. You know, he is like 60 and has been dealing with people talking about this stuff for 30 years.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but he was really great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and people like you said it perfectly. Just people are just people, man. He's just Steve. He's Steve Albini. He's done awesome things, but like at the end of the day, like he goes to bed and he takes a shower. You know,
exactly. As my mom says, everyone puts on pants the same way.
Exactly. Yeah, and like I had a similar. Well, not similar, but like the first like big mutual I had, or big, right? Like was I don't know if you know Sugarfoot, Jonathan Moffat. He was Michael Jackson's drummer for
I don't know him, but that's huge.
Yeah, and he's crazy, but he like followed me back, and like at the time I think I was like 18 or 19, but I talk like this like it was years ago, but like within the 2 years he followed me back, and like I messaged him and I was like, OMG, like you're Sugarfoot and everything, and like he was so cool about it. He was just like oh thanks man, like appreciate it. But like looking back, I'm like, God, like I can't help but cringe a little bit because I'm like, this guy's just a guy, like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
I'm sure he's used to it from drummers, especially given your age. He probably saw that and was like, "Oh, he's just a kid."
I get, and no.
It's weird if you're an adult doing that,
of
like
course,
like a 50-year-old.
Yeah,
OMG.
Right. But like I typed like OMG, and it's just like,
oh, you actually said OMG.
I literally said it.
Classic
and like,
OMG.
Yeah, and I was just, I don't, like I said, I was like, and even like after I sent that, it was just like such a normal conversation. I was like, wow, I'm not turning him down. He's Sugar, he's a legend, everything. But like at the same, like I said, everyone puts their pants on the same way. It's just like, he's just a dude. He's
people
just a dude.
Just people.
He played for Michael Jackson, and
some have more followers, like streams, plays than others. Some have more money than others. But we're born the same way. And we're gonna die the same way, and our cells are gonna do the same thing. And knowing that and saying that and. It keeps me alive, keeps me humble, keeps me okay with everything and not too upset, not too worried, but just kind of like, everything is in the right place. Everything is in its right place.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I do believe everything happens for a reason type of deal. Like, I think nothing is, I don't know. I dance between the ideas, but like sometimes I'm like I've had stuff happen to me where I'm like, wow, that's like so like universal and like, whoa, like maybe the universe is like hearing me and like sending me signs, you know? And I like to think that, but at the same time, I'm like, what if it all is just, I think the same thing where it's like, it's just, things are just happening. But I do also think that at all times, regardless, that everything is where it needs to be. You know? I love that. I love that. That outlook. I'm gonna say that now.
Everything in its right place.
Yeah, everything is in its right place.
I mean, I say it, but it is also from the first song off of Kid A by Radiohead. The song "Everything in its Right Place." Do you listen to them at all?
I know like the hits, but I haven't.
Check out that. Check out the record "Kid A," the first song.
A.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you drive home tonight, put it on. Everything in its right place. It's
all right.
One of my best. It was voted the best record of the 2000s. So,
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite records and one of the coolest songs.
Wow.
It's such a beautiful song, and the whole record is stunning. But especially when you realize it's timeless. It's sound, the sonic qualities. It was recorded probably between like 97 and 99. It sounds like something that would come out right now. It doesn't make sense that it came out in the year 2000. And you're like, this is like modern, alternative, experimental, indie, alt rock. Like, it doesn't make sense that it came out when it did, which they tend to do that. Yeah.
That's cool.
What time is it? Oh my God, we've been talking for about 3 hours.
Have we really?
You got here at like 6:50.
I love talking,
or
man.
5:50 you got here.
5:50.
Yeah, about 3 hours.
Yeah, I can talk forever, man.
I feel like we need to do one of these sometime.
Yeah, we'll have a sequel.
Because I feel like we like just scratched the surface.
I think so too. I do think so.
We're both talkers. You know?
I'm such a big talker. I once you get me going, I won't shut up. And then someone has to go, hey man, all right, that's enough. That's enough. There's been times where I've been over at my friend's house and I'll just like we'll be chilling. I'll get there at like 9 o'clock at night, and then like we'll be sitting outside, and it's like 3 a.m. and my friend will just go, "Listen, man, it's 3 a.m.
You gotta go."
It's like a weird little like it's not like a mean like, hey, I get out. They just go, "Listen, man, it's 3 a.m. I need you to. Are you tired?" I'm like, I'm taking the hint, man.
You seem like a person that has like a very high energy. Like you can always keep going.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I don't know.
Use it for good.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people don't have
I like
it.
to channel it. Yeah,
use it. Be productive with it.
Absolutely.
Swim, sauna, content.
Yeah, old man stuff, like you said, or whatever.
Yeah, Very wise. So keep up with that wisdom. Yeah, my words to you is just keep paying attention to those before you, and listen to what they say. When it comes to like longevity and health and ideas, don't listen to when they say like you can't do that. Like that's not what you should listen. But like when someone's like, yeah, and then I started eating avocados and it was just great. Like then start eating avocado. Like listen to that stuff. Listen to stuff that keep people alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really old people. When you talk to people like 90 plus, ask them like, what do you do? What I've heard, because this is what they always tell me, is they walk, they enjoy life and like have fun and laugh and enjoy hanging out with people. So like that's why I started walking. Like move, just keep moving. Don't stop moving.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
have
the
fun.
wisdom. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like. I mean, I've been told before, like, you know, you don't have to take pick and choose what advice you want to take. But I always, I understand the importance of. I think, and I started realizing this concept when I started getting a teacher, but it was like, I feel like people who have been in your shoes or like kind of in a similar situation, or just like people who just who have experienced life more than you have, of course, you know, it's like, to me, it's like they're a cheat code, you know, it's just like, why wouldn't you listen? You know, of course,
that's a good point.
Like, why wouldn't, like, why would, like,
it's like a hack.
Yeah, it's like you get to listen to their mistakes and like and this and like, so like now you kind of have that, you know, and you can do what you want with it, but like for me it's like that. I think it's cool listening to like you said, like your story and like countless other people who are just older than me and will, tell me about their experiences with XYZ, just with any concept, you know. So it's like I said, if you want to do, like, I don't know, like if I met like a giant musician or a content creator, like who was if I met, I don't know, Roger Waters, let's just say, for example, right? Maybe it's not the best example. Let's just say, but just I guess in terms of just like creative, I don't know, just like being a musician, I guess, or whatever, just anybody, and like why wouldn't I just take it in, just like listen to what he has to say about something. I don't have to like follow it, but it's just like, that's cool to hear that this has happened to this person. This is how they handled it.
Yeah.
You know, so if it does happen to me or whatever, you know, I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think I'm rambling again.
Aaron, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, man.
Chatting with
it's,
me.
It's such a pleasure.
It's been fun.
It's been fun, absolutely.
It has been, and congratulations on everything you do and the success.
Thank you.
It's really
Likewise.
cool.
Yes.
Keep doing it. It's fun stuff. It's creative. It's hilarious. It brings music and comedy together, things I love, and I'm happy that people are doing it, and I'm glad that it's a good person who's doing it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I
so
really
keep
do
doing
appreciate
it.
that.
And
Thank you.
We'll be in touch, and we should do this again, man. It's fun. I feel
Absolutely.
like we can do a whole nother 3
We
hour
can.
segment.
We'll do a trilogy.
And I'm excited for more of your band stuff to come out, and it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all the kind words and listening to your story and just connecting. It's just great. It's a beautiful thing, man. Thank you so
very
much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And then we'll go on for another 3 hours.
No, thank you. Let's talk about what it means to be thankful. No, I really do appreciate you listening, your kind words. I don't always talk about those types of things, and I probably said some stuff I've never talked about, so.
Yeah, that's great. That's good.
Thanks for pulling it out of me.
Yeah, I'm glad I got it out of you. I'm glad.
Let's, yeah, that's it. All right.
All right, cool.
Thank you all for listening. And thank you, Aaron, for being here.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.